DAZN.
DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
This fight has lived up to expectations.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
This has been a coming together. This has been a light bulb moment.
Two top promoters in the UK have never even met.
I know how to fight, and I'll fight to win.
It's their time. A night to remember.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop action. Access all areas of the biggest fights, even before the bell rings.
The lot of them.
Always got your back, no matter what. Before, we were enemies. We were like brothers.
This will be totally worth it. Don't be a glitch. Hey, you don't be a glitch.
We were given the power to change our world.
No, now we finally have the power to take what's ours.
He's a little intense.
What happened? My best friend. We could have built the future together.
I don't think so.
Transformers 1, only in theaters September 20th.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready.
The fight starts now.
Let's go.
How do you like it? Oh, so aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. The corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
Fight night, only on DAZN. Who knew you need sunglasses in England? It's a sunny day in London, believe it or not. My name is Todd Grisham. We're outside the historic Guildhall, one of the most amazing buildings in all of England. In fact, William Wallace, Braveheart himself's trial was held right inside that building. Today, not quite as much drama, at least we don't think so. It's the final press conference before Saturday's main event. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's live on DAZN.
Live on DAZN, September 21st. Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois fight for the IBF World Heavyweight title. AJ stands on the brink of history to become a three-time world champion. Daniel Dynamite Dubois Britain's silent powerhouse stands in his way. An explosive night at Wembley awaits.
Who do you think you are? Daniel, don't disrespect me.
Joshua versus Dubois. Live on DAZN, September 21st. Buy now at DAZN.com.
And with that, we welcome you inside the beautiful Guildhall, which was originally built as the headquarters for the City of London in 1410. That's before Christopher Columbus even thought about sailing to the United States. In fact, below our very feet is a Roman amphitheater, which was the scene of gladiators fighting to the death just shy of 2,000 years ago. This place is steeped in history, and another chapter will be written today. Will we one day perhaps see a statue of AJ and Daniel Dubois inside Guildhall? Stranger things have happened 48 hours away from one of the biggest fight nights Great Britain has ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Grisham. This, of course, is Barry Jones, Darren, and Ariel Hawani. Congratulations on your new show with Ade. It starts today, does it not?
It does, yes. After the press conference, we'll react to it all. But what an intro from this guy, huh?
Flawless.
You gave me goosebumps there.
Hey, thank you. You know, the last 2 days, it's been all these British guys. We needed a voice of reason from the United States. But it's been quite a week, Barry, and we were getting a nice tour of England from Riyadh season, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got to see all Riyadh season weeks are fantastic, and this is maybe one of the best because we got to see every part of London pretty much. It's been unbelievable. London Bridge, of course, started off in there, which was fantastic. Then we've gone on to Leicester Square, which was amazing. Here, the Guildhall, where I made my debut underneath. That's how old I am. It's just been a great week, hasn't it, Darren?
Yeah, it really has. And you mentioned Leicester Square there. It was something new. I mean, we didn't have a red carpet, we had a purple carpet, but we see, London town come out in full force. It was brilliant to see. It really captured the imagination, having two Brits top of the bill at the National Stadium. It really, really was a special event here. I mean, the whole week has been a special event, and as the week has gone along, the atmosphere, the intensity, the energy is just ramped up.
Talk about energy. We're coming from the United States, Ariel. We had the big UFC event at the Sphere. We had Canelo Alvarez fighting at T-Mobile, and now we've got 96,000 at Wembley on Saturday. One of the greatest fight weeks ever, probably.
I couldn't agree more. Las Vegas likes to call itself the fight capital of the world. If you ask me, England is the fight country of the world. There is no fight that could sell out 96,000 tickets in the United States, in Canada, really anywhere in the world. And it's so great to see the British public getting behind Anthony Joshua, because let's not forget, just 2 years ago, it felt like everyone was ready to move on from him. As he's in the ring, he has the belts, he's throwing them out of the ring. He's essentially having an emotional breakdown at the press conference, at the dais alongside Eddie Hearn. Who would have thought 2 years later we'd be in a situation like this where really he's the A side, 96,000, one of the biggest crowds ever in the history of boxing, two Brits going toe-to-toe with a chance to become three-time world champion, with a chance to then become undisputed champion. It's a beautiful story, and I can't wait to witness it live.
There's a lot of people saying AJ's been here, done that, he's used to this, but for Dubois, he might freeze under the bright lights. Do you get that sense from Daniel at all?
I mean, on paper you feel that could be the case, but he's shown nothing but confidence this week. I mean, an unusual confidence for someone who really hasn't been in this sort of magnitude of a fight before. See, 96,000 is a big crowd for anybody, and Joshua, it's been a while since he boxed in Wembley Stadium, so he'll be nervous as well. But Joshua's used to the huge crowds, he's used to the 24/7 attention, but Dubois is not. So how he copes, and also, by the way, the closer it gets to the fight, the more intense it becomes for the fighter. So how will he cope with it maybe today? Certainly at the weigh-in, and then Saturday morning when he knows what's ahead. It's imminent. You can almost taste it. And I always say, people say you win or lose a fight in certain areas. I think it's the night before, because you can't sleep. Your brain's going crazy, and all those thoughts come in. If you weren't diligent in your training, if for the guys like us you didn't make the weight correctly, all those things come back to haunt you. And also, past mistakes, and he's had plenty of them.
And I'm just trying to envision the thoughts of Daniel Dubois for the first time pulling up to Wembley Stadium, walking through the doors, seeing his name on the locker room, and sitting down. Then you're getting gloved up, and then there's a guy who knocks on the door and says, "Daniel, it's your time to walk." How's he going to be feeling? How's his nerves going to play up? How's he going to handle that? I mean,
I tell you what, Darren, that when I knock on the door and they say 5 minutes, that's the worst.
He needs to quickly go to the toilet.
Time, right?
Yeah, toilet
that's
time.
squeaky bum time. 100%. If I may, I think it's a bit of an overplayed storyline at this point. And I think it all stems from the Joe Joyce fight where people question his heart and his determination. I think he has done enough to prove otherwise. Let's not forget, 13 months ago, he was in a massive stadium against Alexander Usyk in Poland and did pretty well. Was this close of maybe pulling off the upset? I think Daniel has shown us a lot, especially in the past year. His performance against Hrgovic was outstanding. I think the days of us questioning his heart, his will, his determination should be over. I think he's ready for this moment, and they showed a clip over there of him doing the face-off with Ade. He stood up there and stood his ground in front of the big man, AJ, and did not look like a weak character.
Plenty of weeks away from the fight, though,
That's fair, that's fair.
To be fair, all week he's been really confident. Actually, all the fighters have. It's been eerie. Every fighter on the card has been so confident, supremely confident, and it doesn't look like an act. Sometimes you can smell it,
100%.
can't you? But he's full of confidence, and so he should. Because I've been saying all week that he's the deepest man I've ever met in my life. From chest to back, it's massive.
And
it's a corridor.
I'll say as well, I get the impression with Daniel Dubois that kind of the pressure is lifted ever so slightly because he understands that AJ is the A side. All the pressure, probably 3/4 of the stadium, I think it's fair, Barry,
yes,
will be anti-Joshua fans. That is a lot.
The rest are Josh Warrington fans, right?
10,000 coming down from Leeds. So that takes some pressure off and allows you to box freely.
All right, well, let's talk about that career arc of Daniel Dubois. They called him a quitter against Joe Joyce, but he had his face broken, for God's sakes. Broke his orbital bone. You probably give him a pass on that one. The Usyk fight, a little bit of a different story, but let's go back to that night, Barry. What did you think of Daniel Dubois before the fight was stopped?
Well, I covered most of his career, and he's always shown a good skills, and he was boxing well in that fight, and it was a relatively close fight. He had the injury. What I do say is he did quit. He took the knee like he did in the past. He took the knee before, but you don't know somebody's pain. You can't. It's your pain, and your level to quit is your level to quit. But against Lorena here, he got up off the floor and he got the job done. But against Usyk, he boxed so very well. Though he was losing the fight, and that was a low blow. It was a low blow. He still took the knee. Now this is the fight was the turning point, because he got to a point in this fight where he was absolutely exhausted, but he pushed through and he got a better performance the second half of the fight, and he stopped the guy. And against Hrgovic, the tactics weren't great, I don't think. He walked through a lot of punches in the early rounds, but he believed in his fitness, and for me that's key. He believed in his fitness, and he could walk through it, and in the later rounds, get the job done.
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt, we'd be remiss if we don't talk about a story that's been percolating over the last 24 to 36 hours. If there is a change in his camp, if his head trainer, Don Charles, is not there, and perhaps we'll get an answer to that question at this press conference, that's a massive, massive storyline heading into Saturday, because some would argue he's very much responsible for those great performances over the last two fights.
I would actually say there was a pivotal moment when we see the Baby Miller clips there. There was a moment where Daniel Dubois' father was brought in to come to the corner to shout encouragement to Daniel Dubois. I would think that would be more of a loss if the father wasn't allowed to be ringside. Look, he's got a great relationship with Don Charles, it's proven. I would almost say that Don Charles is almost a second father-like figure to Daniel Dubois. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. I think it's not
Is he sick? I've heard he might have the flu.
That's probably all I think.
But even if flu or not, if he's not there, that's significant. No?
He's not here. It don't mean he's not there. It don't mean he's not in the camp. He's just not coming to these things.
Sure.
Remember that, Ariel, usually fight weeks are Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
This is a long week, so he might have other obligations. He doesn't like this so much anyway, does Don Charles. And it might be a psychological ploy to make AJ think that they are in trouble. I don't quite know, but I would find it very hard to believe that he's not there. And if he's not there, I agree with you, it's catastrophic for him.
I guess my question is, if he's not physically in the corner on Saturday, does that change the way you think the fight goes?
Well, it changed the way.
Or at that point, is the work already done and it doesn't really matter?
I think Don's pivotal for him winning the fight, because Don Charles is a strong character who talks calmly but strongly. So he doesn't take any. I think Daniel's a people pleaser. So you see it with his dad, he wants to do stuff for his dad, and I think he feels the same way with Don Charles. He wants to please Don Charles, and with that you have that trust. So your trainer will tell you things you don't want to do, and if you don't trust them, you just won't do it. So it's a waste of time having them. But when you have a long relationship, and they haven't, but when you have a relationship with your trainer, you believe them. They tell you things you don't want to do, but you will do it because you believe in them. And because he's a people pleaser, Don's the right guy for him because he'll tell him calmly and the correct things to do, whether they're good, whether they're comfortable or uncomfortable.
Yeah, but what happens when your trainer's telling you one thing and then all of a sudden Pops comes up and says, no, start doing this, don't listen to him.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was chaos in that corner, and you saw Fury's head was spinning.
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem. There should only be one voice in the corner.
Yeah.
Usually. Sometimes people, some people thrive in chaos. Some people like it. I didn't. We had one voice in my corner, and then other voices would tell that one voice what they thought in the 3 minutes while you're fighting. That's what it should be.
Well, that's an MMA term, staying calm in the chaos,
Sure.
right?
And on the flip side, you have Lee Wiley, Ben Davison, and AJ, who couldn't be more in sync, right?
Yeah.
It's harmony. It's a match made in heaven. It's a honeymoon right now. They couldn't be more on the same page. And so that's one thing that I'm wondering how it all plays out, and hopefully we get some answers. It's added a very intriguing storyline to this afternoon's press conference.
I think it's safe to say, correct me if I'm wrong, that both fighters coming into this fight look as good as they've ever looked.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Physically and mentally, I think they seem in good places, and most importantly, form's good for both. I think it's so important, and you mentioned it, Ariel, you know, the fights that Daniel Dubois had and come through. The Baby Miller fight, he had his gut checked. The dad come and played a big part in the corner, getting him through the tough times. And then he had that challenge against Hrgovic where he was, you know, ripped up the script. He's passed and ticked the boxes. So has Anthony Joshua. He believes that this Anthony Joshua would beat the Anthony Joshua that beat Vladimir Klitschko. That's a huge statement.
Unbelievable. And he's been here before, right? He fought on the undercard at Wembley. He fought against Klitschko, against Povetkin. This is all old hat for him. I'm delighted for AJ. I think Anthony Joshua is one of the most fascinating sportsmen in the world right now. Not just in the fight game, in the world. So many layers, and his demeanor all week has been a joy to watch. He seems grateful, he seems comfortable, he seems very focused, very switched on. This isn't the guy that we were questioning where he was at just a couple of years ago. And I think when you have that Anthony Joshua in the fight game, we're all better off for it.
We'll talk more about AJ in a minute, but let's rekindle that talk about Daniel Dubois. I mean, he looked dead and buried in his career, but he has somehow resurfaced, been reborn, and he's about to take on Anthony Joshua in one of the biggest fights in the history of this country.
Daniel Dubois has climbed the tree again after taking the knee against Joe Joyce.
Daniel was in front on the judges' cards. He took the knee because he had a big problem with his orbital bones in his eyes.
What was going through Daniel's mind at that time? Only he can answer that question.
I've spoken to many people about it that have had that similar injury. And they say, look, you take a couple more, you don't see out of that eye.
The reality is, he took a knee and he didn't get up. And that showed a weakness.
Fair or not fair, Daniel Dubois got the label that he was a quitter.
Well, everyone's got something to say, you know, when you take an L. I heard a lot of people coming out and talking.
He was out of the ring for quite a while and he had to deal with it. And it was a tough time for him, there's no doubt about that. But, you know, as I said to him at the time, you have to now show what you're all about.
This is a new gym. It's on a farm. We've only been there for about a year. And when you're training all the time, it's good to get away from the hustle and bustle, I suppose.
I've been in the industry for 20 years and I've been waiting for such a fighter. I want you to hurt me, Dan. Don't feel sorry for me.
1, 2, 3, it's.
We needed a guy that was, you know, working with heavyweights, big heavyweights, and he's got a track record. We thought he was a good choice and it's worked out so far. It's a good combination.
It's unmeasurable, the power, freakish sort of power, in both hands, hence why his name is Dynamite. He's got dynamite in both fists. We've been together nearly a year, starting with the Usyk fight. I always say we won the fight before we lost the fight.
He had the solid showing against Usyk, somewhat controversial.
Daniel caught him with that shot, which hit him on the belt line. The referee stopped the fight. He gave him just under 4 minutes to recover. And Daniel basically lost heart. I think the referee got to him.
And at that stage, it was decided by many that he simply didn't have the resilience to get through nights like that.
We then decided that we were going to make the Miller fight.
That Miller fight was definitely a must-win. There were times during that fight where the going got quite tough.
Is there not good signs for Dubois?
He just felt to me he wasn't listening. I then knew then I had to get his dad.
I hear that voice, I know, it's on to have that voice and the person that can speak to you while you're in the storm.
Sensational finish here, and he's done it!
Had those instances against Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk not happened, he might not have been able to dig so deep. And that was reinforced in the fight against Filip Hrgović.
The first 3 rounds was not the game plan.
Oh, he's caught him again! Took him out, Dubois. This is target practice with the right hand.
How would you rate his power?
You want to get hit in the chin. That's the best way to test it. You know firsthand.
Once we started doing what the game plan was, the fight just turned.
Oh! Incredible! How is Hrgović still standing?
That was a good win for me, and I passed that challenge, I passed that level.
Daniel Dubois has stopped Filip Hrgović.
What a beautiful way for Daniel to answer all the critics, and don't think any questions of quitter could ever be mentioned with his name.
He was the interim IBF champion. Usyk had a rematch clause with Tyson Fury, so he decided that he would vacate the title. That then elevated Daniel into the #1 spot. He's world champion. I think he looks at this fight with AJ to confirm that he is a world champion.
I promise you, we are going to retain what we've worked hard for on the 21st of September at Wembley Stadium.
What a turnaround for Daniel Dubois. And he gets the gold Saturday night, at least a shot at the gold as he faces Anthony Joshua. It was interesting to watch that Hrgović fight. You heard Don Charles say the beginning of that fight was a disaster. It's not what we wanted. I remember he caught at least, a dozen right hands in the first 3 or 4 rounds. If he starts the fight Saturday night like he started that fight, what's going to happen?
Well, Joshua will knock him out or stop him, I think, because Hrgović is a big puncher, but he's a heavy puncher. Where Anthony Joshua has got fantastic technique, so he turns into the shot. So with that, there's acceleration of pace. So if he's walking onto those shots with that weight and that speed, then he's going to get hurt. He won't be able to. Dubois has a really good chin. That's never been the issue. But if he can see the shot, he can tense for it. If he can't see the shot and he has speed, he's going to get bust up. But what he showed here, I think with Dubois, it was never his chin. It was about he was scared of his fitness. He didn't believe he had fitness to go through the later rounds, and he panicked. He panicked against Usyk massively, and he wasn't hurt. He panicked and took a knee. In the Miller fight, he went through it. And certainly the Hrgović fight, he knew that he had it in his engine. That if he just got tired, once you get tired, there's an extra reserve of energy. But you have to do it. He's never done it before, and now he has done that. He knows he can dog it out. So I think for him, he needs to drag Joshua into a fight quite early, be physical. So if he misses with a shot and he overreaches, you lean on him, grab him, push him, pull him. Joshua will try and get out of it, he'll tire him out. He knows he has the energy to do that.
You think that's going to be the game plan? Come out and go right after Joshua?
Yeah, but he's got to be intelligent with it. You know, he does have to be the boss. He does have to be bullish on the front foot. I think he's got a fantastic jab. That gets overlooked sometimes, and so does his footwork, and I've mentioned this time and time again, he glides in and out of range so well, and he's got to avoid the shot. He could, like Barry said, this will be over. It's either a KO or a stoppage. If he gets caught with the right hands that Filip Hrgović caught him with, this is curtains, this is over. But he does need to be aggressive, and I think as the rounds progress, then I think he's got to try and turn it into a real dogfight. You heard him, I think it was at the Grand Arrival, saying he may have to use his head, hit round the back of the head, use some of the dark arts. I think that may not be a bad shout, Ariel.
Yeah, and I also think that if he can weather an early storm, because I think that AJ is going to try to bank on the fact that he's never quite been on this stage before. If he can weather that storm, the same type of storm that he weathered from Hrgović, I think his confidence will grow. A real turning point for me as far as Daniel Dubois' career was the loss to Usyk. I think he learned that night I belong here. I belong with these guys. I belong in front of the big crowds, and look at the performances since then. And so I'm not expecting him to be nervous per se, or to crumble under the spotlight at Wembley. But I think when you're standing there in front of a guy that you've sparred before, and there's a bit of a history there and a bit of a grudge and all that stuff, those first couple rounds could be a little bit nerve-wracking. If he could get past that, I think he might be in good shape.
I think the jab is key for both, because they both have good jabs, but totally different jabs. Now, Dubois is a heavy jab. He steps with it. It's a solid shot. It pushes you back, and it puts panic on you. He needs to use that and make Anthony Joshua second-guess his attacks. But Joshua has a faster, fluent jab, and he does it with rhythm. So he used to bounce in the early start of his career in and out. Now he slides in and out, Joshua, with the shot. But what he does, he double jabs, and that gives him the space to throw that beautiful right hand. That's where the power is for Joshua. Whoever gets that jab on target first, whoever gets a rhythm in their work first, I think wins the fight.
Is there an opponent AJ's had in his past that most fights like Daniel Dubois, when you look back at AJ's career, do you think they'd approach this fight similar to a previous fight that he's had?
Yeah, perhaps. Do you know what I think?
Maybe Povetkin?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, look, with this fight, I think it's so important that he stays switched on. It's like, yes, he's been here, he's done the 96, the 90,000 before, the 96 is going to be new, but he can't get carried away. He's got to remain on point, and that's where this new relationship with Ben Davis and Lee Wiley Barry is going to be so important for me. The video analysis that they do, you know, they're diligent in every single thing they do, and the relationship has blossomed very quickly. There's trust. I can see trust. Anthony Joshua trusts Ben Davison and vice versa. There's just, as you said, Ariel, there's harmony within the camp. And what they've done is they've made Anthony Joshua fight the way that Anthony Joshua wants to fight. He was molded early on to be on his toes and almost replicate what he'd done in the amateurs, and too much spring in his step. Yes, he was accurate and he was hurtful with his shots, but now he's just got that natural aggression that is allowing him to express himself more freely.
Let's look more in depth at that partnership between Ben Davidson and Anthony Joshua.
I love the partnership between Ben Davison and Anthony Joshua. One of the best minds in all of boxing.
I think the biggest things when you work with somebody that's achieved amazing things like AJ already has, it's just a case of helping them understand their skill sets, strengths, weaknesses. I think that really clicked with him.
Me and Ben are on the same wavelength, so when I take him crazy ideas, he's already had that in his mind anyway, and he's ahead of the game, Ben Davison.
I think we're seeing AJ so confident as he's been in the last two fights purely down to the way Ben Davison approaches fight. He uses tactical analysis and video analysis to oversee everything in camp.
We study a lot of fights, and I think it's something that AJ is very receptive to. By the time these situations occur on fight night, it's drilling them and it becomes instinctive.
And in an instant, it's all over.
From the Hellenius knockout to the Wallin display.
Anthony Joshua gets his 24th knockout, and boy, did he make it look easy.
To then destroying Ngannou, to knock him out the way he did, just shows you that we have probably not an old Anthony Joshua, but a new and improved Anthony Joshua.
When you're knocking guys out like the Ngannou knockout, and the situations and scenarios are playing out just like you've been drilling and working on and going over in the film study, of course, it's going to give you a lot of confidence.
It is lights out! Wow! Anthony Joshua!
You know, it's interesting, earlier this week, Anthony Joshua was talking about changing styles. He had that one style where he was beating everyone up, and then he changed it a little bit for the Andy Ruiz fight. That turned into a disaster, and now he's changing it again with Ben Davidson. He said, but listen, I'm doing it this time with his input. I'm not just doing it to change it. I'm doing it because I believe this is the best style for me. What changes have you seen from the style he had a few years ago to what he's doing right now?
Well, I think committing to shots and being more natural to his true self, which is expressing that nasty streak that he has. He wants to be in a dogfight. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to be hurtful. And I think they, along with the performances of late, have really instilled this confidence in him to really believe in fully rotating to the shots, really committing to every shot that is thrown. And he seems happy, and that's the most important thing.
I think that after the Ruiz fight, he got caught throwing a punch. He was winning the fight. He looked like he was going to knock Ruiz out. He got caught throwing a left hook, and he got caught first, and he got hurt, and he unravelled. After that fight, he was searching for answers. But with that, so you get all this knowledge. Knowledge is great, but with knowledge, you second-guess stuff. So then he realised then that when I attack, I'm in risk of getting knocked out. Then there's fear. Then he wouldn't commit to any real attacks for a while. And in Ruiz too, he boxed great, but he didn't box the right fight, or the fight we knew that the fight he should be. There was no threat with him. He was trying to box with no power, and that's for the heavyweight. There's no longevity in that. So I think what the Davison camp have done, have taken that thought process away. They just, having knowledge is great, but too much just clouds your thoughts. You need to focus on one or two things, and I think because they're so analytical in that camp, they've gone, Anthony, we'll deal with that. We'll drip feed you the information when you need it. And I think he's comfortable with that and a more dynamic fighter because of that.
Ariel, what did you learn or take away from Anthony Joshua's win over Francis Ngannou?
Well, it was just more of that storyline about their partnership, because going into that fight, we were all wondering if Ben, if Lee, if AJ would treat Francis like Tyson and his camp did, which was not really show him much respect, not do your homework, not really look at the tape. And what I loved so much about what Ben was saying leading up to the fight was, we've studied his MMA fights, right? We actually looked at what this guy does as a fighter, period, as opposed to just his one boxing match. That told me that they did their homework. There are a few things that get me more giddy, more excited than great coaches and their partnership with great fighters, like the legendary boxing coaches, right? Customato, Emmanuel Stewart, Buddy McGirt, Teddy Atlas. I love those moments where you get some insight, that 1 minute in between rounds. That to me is bliss. And when the great fighter says to a great coach and almost succumbs his career to him and says, lead me, guide me, I don't want to be my own head coach, I want you to guide me, that's when you see the perfect partnership. And I feel like that is what we're seeing here. When he went with Garcia, when he went with Derek James, I felt like AJ was kind of a co-head coach. It feels like Ben is leading the way, and now you're seeing the results.
Does that hurt to still watch that?
It does not hurt. I'm a sports guy, not an MMA guy. You guys keep trying to brand me as an MMA guy.
Every time I see that, it reminds me of the roller coaster. I'm doing this only for you, Francis. Only for you.
Oh, that is right. Listen, it was a great punch. And you know what? You guys could joke about it. To drop Francis Ngannou, which had never been done before, with 4-ounce gloves, to do what he did to him back in March, supremely impressive. You could say all you want about him being a novice. You could take a club to the head of Francis Ngannou prior to that moment, and he doesn't fall.
Yeah.
What AJ did on that night was nothing short of spectacular, and honestly, Ben deserves a ton of credit for that, because you saw the game plan, how he switched things up, how he was waiting for Francis to switch things up, and then he caught him down with that right hand. It was beautiful.
And that win, of course, set up the mega fight on Saturday, Dubois versus AJ, an all-British affair, but certainly not the first time we've seen two Brits square off in the heavyweight division. Some all-time classics have taken place. Take a look at this.
British heavyweight title fights have been long in the history of our game.
When you do it for the world heavyweight title, it becomes one of the biggest events in the sporting calendar.
And I remember the first big all-British world title fight that I covered as a journalist and reporter was Lennox Lewis against Frank Bruno back in 1993.
I went with my dad and my granddad, and there was just a buzz. There was real energy. You had half wanted Bruno, half wanted Lewis.
Two great legends of the sport that helped pave the way for fighters like me. Historic moment.
Frank Bruno, strong as an ox, done really well early on. I couldn't sustain that pressure, and Lennox Lewis managed to be victorious.
Chisora wasn't for the world title, but it was an all-British affair.
It was another huge fight, Upton Park, packed out, and that's what happens when you bring two heavyweights together.
They didn't like each other, and they had a ruckus at a press conference, and it was a great fight. I remember watching it.
The back and forth between the two fighters before the fight, and all the drama and that, real characters. It was exciting to watch.
Unfortunately, Derek came up short, and he managed to get the W.
That hurts. It's still the lowest point of my boxing coaching career.
Although it wasn't for a world heavyweight title, Joshua Dillian White was a fight and a night that will go down in the history book.
It was a crossover fight as well, especially for British boxing. It got the attention of the whole of the UK. It was a really good fight, I enjoyed it.
And it was the first time he was involved in a fight that really had beef.
Called me a drug cheat, they said I was fake, said all types of stuff about me. I needed to humble this guy.
Another good British heavyweight dust-up, a good battle. The history between the two guys before the fight was good.
And I took him out in good fashion.
It was an iconic night at London's O2. Tyson Fury against Dillian Whyte, 90,000.
Broke all box office records of any event that's ever taken place at Wembley.
Guys at the top level, making big money, having big fights. It's what heavyweight boxing is all about, and showing you're the governor, and Fury did that.
Big knockout for Tyson Fury and a huge event.
These fights will just whet the appetite for going out there and performing in front of a massive stadium, massive crowds.
They are huge occasions in boxing which grab the world's attention.
Now we have it again, Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois, two huge punching Brits for the world heavyweight title, live on DAZN.
Well, I'm sure there's a bunch of differing opinions about which all-British fight has been the biggest so far. However, if AJ wins this and Tyson Fury beats Usyk and it's Fury versus AJ, is there any doubt that would be the biggest fight in the history of this country?
I think it would be, most definitely, because it's been brewing for almost as long as I've been boxing. It's been ridiculously too long, and it looks like so many times their careers haven't been in line with each other. One's had success, then one wasn't quite there, and then the other one got beat. And then Fury looked like he was going to take over the world, and he just got beat, and now Joshua's on his way back up. But I think now they're at a stage of their careers where they have to meet each other. I think they're not career-defining fights, but they are. It's the biggest fight for each one of them. Even if they're past their very best, it's still a really intriguing fight. Stylistically, it's a good fight to watch. Better fight now, I think, than it would have been back when Fury was at his peak.
Yeah. If Fury beats Usyk and Anthony Joshua beats Daniel Dubois, I don't think there will ever be a bigger fight in British boxing other than that. That will reign supreme forever, in my opinion.
Forget British boxing, it's one of the biggest heavyweight title fights of all time. If it's for undisputed gold as well, it would be, you know, I don't know, as far as a fight that would cross over into the mainstream, the biggest since Lewis Tyson, you know what I mean? It would be a gigantic deal for so many reasons. And you know, you could subscribe to the notion that it would happen maybe 3 or 4 years too late, but I would actually disagree with that. If AJ, the new AJ, is coming off a win over Dubois, and if Tyson Fury is coming off a win over Alexander Usyk, the time is now, right? And we've never had more players involved who are willing to make the fight. From Turki Al-Sheikh, from Eddie Hearn, from Frank Warren, they're all involved. So if the results go as we want them to, or as some are hoping they will, there's no roadblocks, and that's the best part.
There is a roadblock.
What is it?
Tyson Fury saying, I've got the belts, I'm retiring, guys. See you later.
You
know he could do it. You know he could do it. He could say, I've done it. All right, anyway, we'll
ban him from the Hall of Fame.
We'll put that on the back burner. If you're tuning in right now expecting our press conference to have started, we thought it would too. However, fighters are having difficulty getting here because of the London traffic. We expect it to start here in a few minutes. We just showed you several all-British heavyweight battles. How about the all-British title match between Anthony Kachi taking on Josh Warrington? Josh Warrington. That fight is going to be off the charts. I know as soon as it popped up on your screen on the schedule, you said, yeah, the main event's great, but Kachi and Warrington, I texted you, I said, this is going to be insane.
I mean, it's stylistically, it's just a perfect fight for both, I think, because they both got ways to win because of who they're boxing, but also it's fraught with danger for both. Kachi, no, is actually likes people, even though we've seen him against Cordina be the aggressor after he caught Cordina with that lovely shot, he likes people coming onto him. But what Kachi, his record would suggest he's not a big puncher, but he can bang. Every punch he throws is hard, and he showed that against Cordina. Caught him on the break there, but ever after that, every shot he threw was powerful, and the accuracy was fantastic. He very rarely missed with a shot against a world-class fighter in Joe Cordina. And for Josh Warrington, he's shown that innate toughness all throughout his career. He's only won one fight in the last 5, and moving up in weight as well. That's why this makes him an underdog in this fight. but he's been the underdog before. When he won the world title against Lee Selby, he was a massive underdog, could never win that fight, and he produced the goods. He outboxed the boxer. Against Carl Frampton, he outpunched the puncher. This is maybe the biggest ask of all, moving up and waiting against a guy who's on form.
Josh Warrington not on form. It's been a tough stretch for him, Darren. Do you think he has the skills still at this moment in his career to beat Kachi?
Yeah, I think he's got the skills, but most importantly, he's got the hunger. Spoke to him on Monday away from the cameras, and he really, really wants this. And that's impressive with what he's achieved already in his career. To still have that fire and the hunger is really impressive. Let's not remember, up until the ending, in the Lee Wood fight, he was doing remarkably well. He was proving, including myself, wrong in the way that he approached the fight. I mean, one thing is for sure, he's suffered some devastating defeats. This one against Lara was huge. At the time, a huge upset. Everyone was expecting the Leeds Warrior to win that, and then he come back, and this fight against Kiko Martinez, very impressive. And then, I mean, this man, the bogeyman for Manny Lopez, he's just a nightmare for anyone. And this is the fight he was doing so well. And I'm sure if he has watched this back, till the day that he dies, it will drive him mad because he was doing so well.
It was stopped
so
too
close.
soon. Let's talk about that for a second. The referee stopped that too soon. They should have given Warrington a pass. Should they not have? He's walking back to his corner. He still seemed to be okay.
I think I sort of agree and disagree because they do, but the referee's talking to him. He's not responding, and then he turns too late. But the referee's already made his mind up, and I think the referee had another breath. He lets him carry on and gives him that time to recover. But it was very controversial. But I think the chin's not as good as he used to be. And for a guy who likes to come forward as bullish as he does, that's always going to be an issue against a boxer who boxes long.
That's the kind of loss, that's the kind of knockdown, knockout that sticks with you. And it wasn't that long ago. It was about 11 months ago. I think if Joe Cordina is being honest with himself, I wonder if Joe Cordina gave Kachi the respect that he deserved going into that fight. Maybe he was looking past him. That was, in many respects, a fight to sort of prop up Joe Cordina. Kachi ruined all the plans. And so now here's Kachi. And you know, it's something that I love about these Riyadh season fights. There's like a thread. You see the same characters throughout, right? So I love the fact that Kachi gets the win and then he gets to be on this fight card. That makes all the sense in the world. And here's an opportunity for Warrington to now derail Kachi's rise. And so I love that storyline. It's a big opportunity for Warrington. And like you said, I can't wait to hear the Leeds fans in attendance on Saturday because you know they're always very loud and boisterous.
Well, there's always one fight that seems to have more bad blood than the rest, and that's got to be Willie Hutchinson taking on
I can't wait.
Joshua Buatsi. Take a look at this.
Good spar? Competitive?
It's good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Did you enjoy it, Willie, as well?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, yeah. I enjoyed it. I was only a kid. I was 20-year-old.
What did you enjoy about it?
I enjoyed battering your face right in pain.
Opened the door and he took it. Of course you didn't batter me. You know you didn't. You know you didn't. Come on, bro. You died.
Sparring stories, I don't know.
Listen, sparring's only sparring, do you know what I mean? I give this man the biggest hiding of his life about 5 years ago. They're guaranteed.
Yo, bad, bro. Come on.
You're a man of God and don't tell lies.
Come on.
He's in here.
Nah,
got him in there.
Got him in the pocket.
Calm, cool and collective.
We're expecting Willie.
I believe I'll knock him spark out. We're sparring 5 years, we're having 20-ounce gloves on, I had him gone 3 or 4 times in the spar. He said to the coach.
That's crazy.
Me talked to my coach.
Come on.
Said the only person who's ever caused him nightmares like it is me.
That's crazy. Bro, go with that.
Remember,
you know, it is,
I was listening when you're lying. I was listening when you're lying.
And I'm thinking, right, I'm watching this interview and I'm thinking, one of them's lying. Which one is it? But it's never happened to me. So now I'm in it and someone's lined up at sparring and I'm like, bro, like you was there, I was there. And you're saying you had me gone,
so I'm lying.
4 times?
So I'm lying.
You're funny. You're a good actor.
I'm lying.
You're a good actor, bro.
So I'm lying.
You're a good actor.
So I'm lying.
You're a good actor.
You never rang my coach 8, 9 months ago.
I rang your coach.
Yeah?
Who? Mirko?
Yeah.
I rang Mirko or Mirko rang me?
Well, whoever.
And I told Mirko you had me gone.
No.
That what?
You said I give you the hardest times of your life.
Impossible. I've had tougher people spar me. If Mirko said that to massage your ego and to get you all comfortable and give you confidence, he's done a good job. But I didn't tell your coach that.
All right, Ariel, you're Canadian. You're the most trustworthy on the stage here, right? The most impartial. Who's lying, Willie Hutchinson or Buatsi?
Oh, I wouldn't dare call either of those guys liars. There is an interesting theme in that fight, in the build-up to that fight, and the Dubois-Joshua fight, because there's some talk about how their sparring session went as well. I freaking love that fight. That, to me, is the people's main event. I love the dynamic between them. I love that back and forth. The one that they did for TNT was great as well. Look, 2 fights ago, Willie Hutchinson's fighting at York Hall. Now he's fighting at Wembley Stadium in front of 96,000. Buatsi has kind of been on the bigger stage for longer, so I'm wondering who shows up, but man, Hutchinson is oozing confidence. Like he said that he's 5 times better than Buatsi. He's gonna have to back that up on Saturday.
Let's watch some of his handiwork in his last fight against Spider. You know, he talked the same sort of trash leading into that fight, and boy, did he back it up.
He did.
He did, and a massive underdog. We were all saying when we did, and that literally, he was the captain. That was the easiest one to pick. That was the only one that was a guaranteed winner. We thought all the other fights on that 5v5 card were very difficult to call. We thought Richards had it in the bag, but Hutchinson, his erratic movements, the way he throws punches from unorthodox angles, and also his appetite to get involved on that night was absolutely fantastic. And he ripped up the script, and he made Richards look very, very old overnight, Darren.
Yeah, I think he's probably one of the most confident boxers in the world right now, and one of the biggest pests, and we would call him in the UK a wind-up. You know, he likes to get under the skin of his opponents. He's certainly got under the skin of Buatsi. Buatsi not only wants to do this for himself, Craig Richards is a friend of his. He wants to do it for Craig Richards. There is genuine bad blood here, and it always makes it that much bit better.
Well, guys, we've only been talking for 45 minutes. I think we deserved a little more time, but I'm being told the press conference is ready to start. So we send it to the stage and Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference for Riyadh season card, Wembley edition. A great night of World Championship boxing this Saturday from Wembley Stadium in London, England. We would first like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Turkey Al-Sheikh, for putting together this spectacular Riyadh season event and its fight week here in London. Riyadh season has really re-elevated the sport, and it is genuinely being done for the boxing fans. It is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing. This event is sponsored by Visit Saudi, Solomon Al Habib Hospital, Saudi Airlines, Red Sea Global, Daria, and Middle Beast, in partnership with Gold Star Promotions and Stella, in association with Wasserman Boxing and Boxer. This great event will be shown worldwide on DAZN, on TNT Sports Box Office, Sky Sports Box Office, and on payperview.com. Let's first welcome the town clerk and chief executive of the City of London, Mr. Ian Thomas, CBE.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I had a voice like him. That's all I can say. Welcome to this Guildhall, the amazing venue. Look around, you'll see the stained glass, the weight of history. This building, the Guildhall, was built in 1411. 600 years of history here, the oldest serving civic building in the world. And you'll see statues around, the weight of history I mentioned. Lord Nelson, Duke of Wellington, Winston Churchill, to name but a few. The place where iconic things happened and infamous events happened, the trial of Lady Jane Grey, who is known as the 9-Day Queen, happened here. This survived the fire Great Fire of London in 1666, and the Blitz in World War II. It's a place where this court, the City of London, meets. You'll often see me here in tights. They didn't tell me this when they gave me the job, that I have to wear tights. And I've worked out, finally, how to keep tights up because they kept falling down. I've got the secret now. But that's part of the job, and we sit here and we discuss key issues of the day in this honourable court. Beneath, you'll see Roman remains in our amphitheatre, going back 2,000 years. Yes, we've been around longer than the DFS sale, and we have more assets than Taylor Swift and Oasis combined, even after the ticket prices went up. Sport, and what we've got to do with sport, well, actually, sport's really important to us here in the City of London. Led by Deputy Lord, we have a new sports strategy, and supported by our chairman, Christopher Hayward, a new sports strategy that is designed to ensure that London is world-leading for sport in terms of a destination. We've got 11,000 acres across Greater London, including Epping Forest, Hampstead Heath, where you'll see football pitches, cricket pitches, lidos, rugby, you name it, we have it here. And the city is an amazing place. The City of London is an amazing place. I've had a great time working here. You get to do brilliant things like this, hosting this amazing event, and meet some great people. I was just saying to my wife just last week, reflecting on my time here at the city, that never in our wildest dreams would we have thought that we'd be meeting such brilliant and amazing people. And my wife turned to me and said, "Ian, you're never in my wildest dreams, mate." That's what she said. She was very cruel to me about that. But we're here, we meet people like you, we host people like you. It's a great honor to have you here. And just some final acknowledgements. I'd like to thank the sponsors and organisers of tonight's event, also the Mayor of London for his support in bringing high-profile sport to the capital, thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz, and His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed Salman, and His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh, for putting together this spectacular Riyadh season event and its fight week here in London. The Riyadh season has really elevated the sport, and it is genuinely being done for the fans of boxing. We are here today to witness an outstanding card featuring Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois for the IBF heavyweight title of the world. I'd like to say let's get ready to rumble, but I can't. But what I can say is thank you and enjoy this evening's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ian Thomas, CBE. Let's now welcome our host, Mr. Dev Sani.
Thank you, Thomas Triber. Thank you, Ian Thomas, CBE, as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another groundbreaking Riyadh season special. And this truly is something special. We have lit up the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. We have lit up the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. And on Saturday night, we will light up the National Stadium right here in the United Kingdom. Welcome to the Riyadh season card, Wembley Stadium edition. This truly special night, I mean, Riyadh now has become the global home of everything big time. The entire boxing landscape has changed. Over the space of the last 11 months, we have seen new kings crowned, we've seen history written, we've seen enemies unite, we've seen legends made, and we've seen a few legends fade. And the reason is Riyadh season. And now some of that Saudi Arabian magic is just starting to get sprinkled around the world. We saw it last month as pound-for-pound star Terence Crawford made his Riyadh season debut, and we'll see it again, Wembley Stadium on Saturday night. The main event, of course, former two-time unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua taking on the newly crowned, heavy-handed Daniel Dynamite Dubois. He is now the world champion heading into this fight. It's an explosive head-on collision in the heavyweight division. And the undercard all sat up here. Well, in what is becoming the norm for Riyadh season, you can't even really call this an undercard. So many of these fights could be the main event. And we've very much got the UK covered. London to Leeds, we've got West Midlands to Belfast, Scotland to Sunderland. A little bit of everything on Saturday night. And by the way, as if that wasn't supersonic enough, we've even got a little bit of Liam Gallagher on Saturday night. So make sure you tune in if you're not lucky enough to be there. A truly unforgettable evening coming up. Well, let's speak to some of these fighters. Let's start with a very intriguing fight in the super lightweight division. We're speaking about unforgettable nights. Well, there was a young gentleman sat on the end of the table there on my left side who received an unforgettable phone call. Josh Padley will be taking on Mark Chamberlain on Saturday night. And Josh, I'm going to start with you here because I read a brilliant article in The Sun about you. You managed to get a full page in The Sun from Wally Downs talking about how you are giving up the job of being an electrician to follow this boxing dream. Big night for you on Saturday.
Yeah, big night. I want to first of all say thank you to everybody involved in Riyadh season. It's been nothing short of amazing this week. But yeah, the last 8 weeks I've managed to become a full-time athlete and give myself the best chance possible come Saturday night.
Well, I've heard you say that you will be Mark Chamberlain's best opponent yet. And I put that to Mark Chamberlain quite recently, who sat at the other end.
Oh, he's got some backing up to do.
Well, look, Mark, just chime in. I mean, when you talked to me, you said he needs to give his head a wobble, and you'll give his head a wobble. I mean, what are the thoughts here, gents?
He can try, like. I'm sure he's going to. It's a fight, but I back myself, and I definitely think I'm going to be Mark's hardest test to date.
How do you claim you as my hardest test?
Because I haven't had a chance to prove myself yet.
Okay.
You're my proof, so when I beat you Saturday night, then...
You've got a lot of backing up to do if you're going to beat me. Trust me.
That's what I'm coming to do, bro, don't worry.
You can have a go, but you're not going to.
Mark, your opponent is also on record saying that he will bring chaos on Saturday night. How do you deal with chaos, Mark?
Same as every fight, really. They all talk the talk, and when they get punched on the chin, it all changes for them, so you'll soon find out.
And you're becoming a bit of a favourite around Riyadh. It's no secret. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh has highlighted you as one of his favourite fighters, maybe his favourite fighter. That's a lot of pressure heading into Saturday.
Yeah, obviously there's added pressure there, but while we're on that subject, I would like to thank Turki Al-Sheikh, Spencer Brown, Queensbury, Frank Warren, everyone involved for letting me be involved in these platforms. And like I say, you're going to see another explosive performance on Saturday night, and we'll come away with another victory and keep everyone happy and hopefully be part of these big platforms in the future.
Well, Josh Padley, let me just come to you here. Do you think he's overlooking you at all? He speaks with a lot of confidence as to how he's going to deal with you on Saturday night.
I mean, he's obviously going off what he's seen of me, which is not much content out there. Again, I've never had a chance to really prove myself against a high-level fighter, so this is the level that I want to be at. Come Saturday night, you're going to see that.
You're going to need to, because you're in a proper fight Saturday night.
That's what I want. That's why I'm here.
Cool. Make sure you bring your A game, because you're going to need it.
Got everything ready.
Okay, we'll see.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Mark Chamberlain. Thank you, Josh Padley. A brilliant fight there between two unbeaten fighters. Someone has got to go.
Not mine.
Today. As Mark Chamberlain says, not his. So we'll tune in to find out anyway. No spoilers, thank you, Mark. Let's keep things moving. We'll head to the middleweight division. Now, there was supposed to be a fight here between Josh Kelly and Liam Smith. Unfortunately, Liam Smith had to pull out. We wish him well. He's had to pull out. He's not well. We can't go through with the fight. But Liam Smith's loss is the gain of Ishmael Davis. He got the call. 6 days' notice. He stepped up. He said yes. Ishmael Davis, I mean, how do you go from being the guy that just took the fight with Josh Kelly to being the guy that makes sure he beats Josh Kelly on Saturday?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Eddie Hearn and Turki Al-Sheikh for
this chance and all the Matchroom team. But listen, I've heard in Josh Kelly's interviews, he's overlooking me. And let me just tell you, your best win's Troy Williamson, who I just beat as well. And every time you've stepped up, you've been beat. Ray Robinson, you should have lost. David Avanesian beat you. And I'm the most progressive British boxer, no joke. So you're overlooking me, but Saturday night, bro, you're going to be in there with the hell, bro. I'm telling you now.
I'm excited to see.
I dare you to meet me in the middle of the ring. I know what you're going to do. Hit, move, hit, man. I'm going to be on you the whole way, bro. And you've never had it like me, bro. You get me? And you're overlooking me, and your trainer knows, bro. He knows. And you can't train for my style. So you've been training for Liam Smith, yeah, but you can't train for my style. You're going to laugh, bro. You're a prey boy. You're not cut like me, bro. I tell you now, you ain't cut like me. I'm fit, bro. I ain't here for no payday. I'm here because I believe I'm going to knock you out, bro. You ain't making it to the 12th. Let me tell you, bro.
It's all talk till you get in. It's all talk till you get in. We'll see.
Whatever, we'll see, bro.
Your best win was Troy Williamson.
But we're going to see, bro. We are going to say, and everyone's levels. Because everyone seems to think
there's levels. There's levels to this game.
The truth is, every single time you've stepped up, you've been beat, bro.
You learn.
And me and you have got the same best win. Troy's my best win. I didn't have no amateur.
2 years on, I finished Troy. I finished bro. I finished them.
We're going to see on Saturday. All the talking's done, yeah. Saturday night's going to happen.
You're doing a lot of talking.
You're going to see a real superstar.
You're doing a lot of talking.
That's what I am. I'm going to show you.
You're doing a lot of talking there.
Trust me, bro.
Listen, we'll see. I'm excited to see you.
I'm going to show you, Josh.
I'm grateful for you taking the fight.
I'm going to show you, bro.
This late notice against someone like me.
Bro, and
you got some balls on
your chest, bro.
You got some balls on you.
I dare you.
Hold you up. Hold you
in the middle of the ring with me.
Hold you up.
I dare you.
You don't punch enough.
Everyone, you're a superstar. What they think you are. Step in the middle of the ring with me and stay there with me. You were going to keep me.
Yeah.
You're going to keep anyway. We'll see anyway. You're gonna.
Okay.
Believe.
I'm excited to see.
I'm excited. Believe you. When I got that call 6 days notice, mate, I couldn't sleep. I got out of my bed and I was up the whole day after watching Canelo beat fucking. Sorry for my language. After watching Canelo beat Belanga. I'm going to beat you, bro.
I'm going to be a little bit excited here, Ishmael.
I'm going to see.
Save that energy for Saturday night, bro.
Yeah, man.
Save that.
Cool.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that was one question, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
I was a bit excited.
Just the one.
I was a bit excited.
Because you know what it is? I hate being excited. I know what I'm about, so I hate, people, listen, there's no bad blood, yeah, but I hate people talking down to me, down about me, like, oh, yeah. Like, I'm training for world level and this. Bro, you're not world level, bro. When have you been world level? Never. And I believe I'm going there, so we're going to see. Because you're in my...
Have a look at my box, Rick. Have a look at your box, Rick. Have a look at what I've fought and have a look at you fought.
It doesn't matter,
Have a look at it. Have a look at the people you beat.
It doesn't matter, bro. I'm telling you now, I'm the most progressive British boxer. I've had no amateurs, bro. I've had 2 fights on TV.
Yeah.
The first one, the second one was much better. This one's going to be much better.
Well done.
And I've had 3 weeks in camp.
You're getting very excited. You need to save that energy,
Yeah, cool.
That's come out of nowhere. That's nervous energy
all the time, bro. You're not where I'm from, bro. Where I come from, mate, you make a mistake, your life's gone, bro. You ain't from there. You're a pretty boy, bro. So let me tell you that.
We're boxing, brother. We're boxing.
Remember that.
We're boxing, normally.
Anyway, talking.
Where am I
We'll
from?
see Saturday night.
We're boxing.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you. Ishmael, I asked you one question, so I should, of course, ask Josh one question. Hi, Josh, great to see you, by the way.
Great to see you, Dave.
Listen, you've had to switch, late change, 6 days' notice. It was going to be Liam Beefy Smith. It's now this man who is intent on taking your head off on Saturday. How has that switch been for you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Spencer, Wasserman, Turkey Al Sheikh for helping me out, keep me on this card. Switch been beautiful, I believe he's going to bring exactly what Liam is going to bring. Liam's world-class at it, that's the difference. Ishmael has improved himself world-class at it, so I was getting ready for someone on that level and that magnitude. And I just put our stars and our boxing ability side by side, and I believe he's getting tossed in the deep end late notice. It's a lot of excitement and a lot of, I know I belong here. I brought Ishmael to the table, accepting his fight. So Ishmael's going to be excited. He's going to come out. He's going to fight off a lot of nerves. But when it comes to crunch time, when you're in front of the big crowd in Wembley Stadium, it's going to come on top real quick.
He's talking about...
I'm made for this. Believe me, I'm made for this.
Well, you want him to stand and trade with you, right? Josh, he's made that pretty clear. Come and have a fight with me. Will you stand and trade with him? You're going to have a fight with him?
He hasn't got enough power for me to respect him, really, to stand there and trade, do you know what I mean? If he's stopping the guys on the feet and then seeing his pack of Troy Williamson. Troy Williamson didn't take one backward step, didn't get hurt once in the fight. I hurt Troy Williamson 4 times, 5 times.
It's a lie, bro. It's a lie.
4 or 5
You haven't
times.
seen a knife.
One at 120, 109, 120, 109.
Josh,
120, 109.
You're a nice guy, bro.
116,
Listen, let's just
114.
allow the chat. Yeah, I'll see you Saturday.
116, 114. You start the chat, though, Ishmael.
Yeah,
Don't start. He asked you one
showing my
question, you went
dominance,
off.
Bro, like I'm gonna be doing
He
in the
asked
ring.
you one
You're
question,
talking
you
down
went
about
off.
me, bro. I've not said no, but respectful, and I heard you talking down about me. But I've got to come here.
Lad,
Who I am.
you need to give it a rest. You need to wind it in. Just chill out.
Cool.
Just relax.
Cool. I'm cool.
We'll get it on Saturday. Don't worry. Relax.
Saturday, you're gonna see, bro.
Relax. I know it's the first time here, but listen, we're all big
Not my
boys
first
here. Let's
time,
just
bro.
relax.
I've been on good
Let's
shows
just relax.
before. This is the
Just
biggest
chill
show,
out.
yeah, but it's not about this, bro. This don't mean
No,
nothing.
this is your first time at the
Fight,
table.
that means so much, bro. Because if I lose the fight, all this is gone. So it don't matter. Just believe I've got that in mind.
So you're lumping that pressure on yourself. Don't worry. Make sure you come in with that pressure.
bro. Same for you.
Don't
If
worry,
you lose
bro.
this fight, where you going? Everyone's gonna laugh at you, bro. Because you think you're a superstar.
I am.
Big superstar.
We've got to move it along. We've got so many brilliant fights. I could probably listen to you talk all day, and you probably could talk all day. Brilliant stuff. Middleweight fight coming up. Josh Kelly.
Thank you, Mr.
against
Dev.
Ishmael Davis. Thank you, Mr. Josh Kelly. Thank you, Ishmael Davis. What a fight. That's whet the appetite here.
That's a bit spicy.
It's a bit
Jesus.
spicy. It's a bit spicy. I'm not sure we'll get similar spice between two very nice guys here in Josh Warrington and Anthony Kachi. I've seen your face-offs. It's all been very respectful. But let's see what we can do. Let's have a chat here. Josh, this is for the IBO World Super Featherweight Championship, by the way. Josh, great to see you. We know all about the Leeds warrior, Josh Warrington, at featherweight. Tenacious, never took a step back. He's got that will, that grit. But what is Josh Warrington like at super featherweight?
Absolutely massive. I'd like to just carry on echoing, boys. Thank you to all those involved in giving this opportunity. Frank, Eddie, Spencer, His Excellency. It's a new chapter for me. Super featherweight. Been a featherweight for over 12 years, championship level. But you know what? It's one of them things where you look back over your career. You maybe should have done this. You should have done that. But now's the time that I step up. And this camp, I felt the benefits from it. You know, everyone talks about having the best camp and this, that, and the other, but I feel really strong, feel really good, and I'll show on Saturday night that it's a decision that I should have done a few years ago.
Your opponent, Anthony Kachi, the champ over there, he says that your style is perfect for him. If he wants to box you, he can box you. If he wants to fight you, he can fight you. What do you think about that?
Oh, you shouts, get the wooden spoon in there, Dev. And we know between me and him, there's a lot of animosity in this room, but nothing but respect for the man. He's a new champion. Listen, you're not going to get loads of screaming and shouting at me, and I don't think you're going to do what but one thing I will guarantee you is action on Saturday night, and I think that's the way that I've always done my business. I think that's the same with him as well. So, we might not shout and scream at each other, but listen, don't miss our fight, because guarantee it'll be the fight of the night. I'm experienced. I'm experienced in this game, and I think I've dealt with every single style that I've come against. We've been tall, short, a boxer, a puncher. I've been in with them big guys, and a lot of the time I've come through it. So that experience. You can't buy that, and it goes a long way.
Josh, I've heard you say you want to be in fights that people remember. You've already been in so many that people will remember.
Mm-hmm.
What will people be saying about Josh Warrington on Saturday night?
Just stepped up and he never turned his back, and even when the chips were down and things weren't going his way, he turned up and did the business. No, I said that, Dev, about the belts, because, disappointed the IBF's not on the line now, but it just is. It's about like I said, it's about the fight. And we're going to have an exciting fight this weekend. And, yeah, the journey of Josh Warrington will continue.
Okay, let's hear from your opponent, the champ, the Andy Town Apache, Anthony Kachi. brilliant, thrilling win over Joe Cordina last time out on the Fury-Usyk undercard. And now you head into this fight as the champion. You head in as the favourite. You head in, surely, with the pressure.
No, there's no pressure. Josh, he's a two-time world champion. His career's been filled with success. I'm only getting a bit of success now. Josh is a great champion, featherweight. You know, he's moving up in weight this one. You know, he's a bit stronger and whatever else. But I'm a big super featherweight, and it's going to be a tough night for him.
Well, you've said that his style is perfect for you. Just tell us a little bit more about that. Why is it so perfect for you?
I've boxed. He's smaller than me. You know, he's going to come on the shots. I'm not going to have to go looking for him. So, you know, also, you know, he's a big set of balls. He's big heart. He's going to come for a proper fight, and that's exactly what I want him to do. So, you know, Josh, he's a good lad. I've got nothing bad to say about him. You know, his accolades speak for themselves. He's done everything. Fought some great champions, beat them. So I know I'm in for a hard night, but listen, no one's taking these belts off me.
What is it that makes you unbeatable right now? Because I've heard the way you've been talking ahead of this fight. There's an intensity about you. There's something in your eyes. It feels like it's going to take a lot to beat you. But what do you think? What is making you so tough to beat right now?
Well, no man's unbeatable. Every man's beatable. But, you know, again, this is all new to me. I've worked from I was 9 years of age. I'm now 35. You know, I've worked to have these in front of me and to have these type of nights ahead, you know. So I don't want to be giving these away, you know, a couple of months down the line, you know. But I know I'm not taking Josh for granted. I know exactly what he's going to bring, you know. I know he's locked in, but again, the belts are coming with me.
Okay, thank you very much, Anthony Kakachi. Thank you, Josh Warrington. Brilliant super featherweight fight. Two gentlemen, if you watch the face-off, you'll see they'll probably be friends after this, but when the first bell rings, they are going to give it absolutely everything on Saturday night. Well, we've got a brilliant fight at light heavyweight. The WBO interim light heavyweight championship is on the line. Willie Hutchinson and Joshua Buatsi. Now, the build-up to this fight has been, let's say, ill-tempered. For those that haven't seen the clips, it got a little bit out of hand when they did a face-off. They had to be separated by security. I'm hoping it doesn't kick off today because I'm certainly not worthy of being a security man. But let's start with Willie Hutchinson. Let's start with the Hutch train. It was a brilliant win last time out against Craig Richards. You went into that fight telling everyone what you were going to do, telling everyone that you're going to beat this man, you were the underdog, but you did it. How do you feel about this one?
100%, Dev, 100%. Listen, look at the people we're up here with. For me, this is unbelievable. It's I mean, what an experience. Do you know what I mean? A lot of great fighters up here, but like I said, Dev, last time out, everything I said I'd done, I basically done with far from knock him out, and I nearly did 2, 3 or 4 times. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just looking forward to knocking this fella out on Saturday night. Yeah.
This one has been quite a spicy build-up. It has been, there's been hands put on each other. You've been separated by security, as I mentioned. Why do you think that is? What's going on?
I don't have a clue, to be honest with you. It's up to this fella. I was all right, to be honest with you, until, I don't know what happened to him. He got an emotional wreck, and his emotions got to him, and it's probably the same thing's going to happen to him in this fight. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't trying to do anything. I went to shake his hand before we went up to the thing. He gave me the yeah fist bump, and then from then it went downhill from him.
Well, let's bring in Joshua Buatsi and get his version of events here. Are you an emotional wreck, Joshua?
Firstly, let me thank Aaron for coming here. His Excellency, boxer, those that are behind it. I don't think I'm an emotional wreck, no.
You're not now because you're starving.
Yeah, I'm starving, it's true.
Shut up.
Well,
Don't start with all that crap again.
Starving. But I
Because you're hungry.
Tell you one thing, though.
You look hungry, brother.
We're a couple of days
You
away
look
from the
hungry.
fight, so there's nothing that's going to happen to derail me. We're like 2-3 days away, so I'm looking forward to it.
What has happened here? Because I watched your roundtables with Craig Richards, Dan Aziz. Do you want a handshake at the end?
If you want to know, go online, because I've done repeated myself about grabbing the scalp. It wasn't a big thing. Let's move on, man. We're 2 days away.
It was, Dev, just keep talking. Well, I don't even know where it come from because me and this fella, even though we only met a few times, and a couple of times we did meet, I beat him up in the gym. But apart from that, it was always all right. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm the biggest worky ticket in the whole entire world. Far from it. But I genuinely was actually trying to be all right with this man. And then he tried to be a bad man, and he ain't got any bad man in him. You know what I mean? What bad man would he know? Ain't got a clue.
Cool story, bro. Ev, what's up?
What?
I can ask you another question, Josh. I mean, look, Willie has mentioned there, and there is a theme of sparring story heading into this event. He is on record quite regularly saying that he had his way with you in sparring. I know you've done several interviews saying you don't believe that to be the case. This is the opportunity on a big stage to kind of downplay his claims.
It's not an opportunity on a big stage. It's all on the internet. So again, Dev, if you want to remind yourself, if anyone here wants to remind themselves, go on YouTube, man. The answer's the same.
How do you win this fight?
By being Buatsi. I show up. I tell you guys who my source is. I always give reference to God because literally everyone here works hard and different things work for different people. But for me, that's my source.
And what do you think of Willie Hutchinson?
I think about him what you think. What everyone thinks about him is the same.
To be honest with you, I think I'm all right. Unless I'm deluded and away with the fairies, I genuinely think I'm actually all right. I shake everybody's hand. Every person I meet, I shake their hand. I try and be as helpful as I can. I can be a nightmare sometimes, yeah. Like I'm his nightmare just now, but I'm only his nightmare. You know what I mean?
If you think you're a nice guy, then everyone thinks you're a nice guy, then you're a nice guy.
Well, they're all laughing. They're not laughing with you.
I don't need people to laugh with me, bro. They're laughing at you.
No one laughed. I quite like that. Well, I hope not. Anyhow, I think you're all my friends, and I'm enjoying every second of this until really tomorrow's the first bit in it. So when you weigh in, we'll see. We'll go see each other in a minute anyhow. But we'll get a bit of food into us, and then Saturday night. The first thing's tomorrow, and then Saturday. Listen, I've been in camp for 11 weeks. Today, Thursday, I went on a Thursday, 11 weeks. I've been training my ass off for 11 weeks. I've done all the hard work. This is fun, man. Enjoy yourself, innit? This is, what on earth have I been doing all that for? What, to look on the table, oh, these things. You know what I mean? I've been training for this man for not for 11 weeks, for 17 years. He's the biggest step for me. And I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? This is fun. Have some fun. That man looks like he's going to cry his eyes out, bless him.
Tell us why you win this fight, Willie.
Why? Because I'm far too good for him. That's simple.
Any final message, Josh?
In every aspect.
Again?
Any final message?
He knows it.
I told him already, September 21st, I'll see you. So 2 more days, babe. I'll see you.
It's just like that, man.
It's just like that. Thank you, Willie. Thank you, Joshua Buatsi. Brilliant. WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Championship on the line on Saturday night. Of course, the winner is in line for a shot at the winner of Artur Beterbiev against Dimitri Bivol coming up October 12th, all part of Riyadh season. That's a fantastic fight. Do not miss that one. Well, let's move on to the chief support. We've got 2 middleweights here who both have different habits. We've got Hamza Shirez, who has got a habit of knocking out every single middleweight that gets put in front of him. We've got Tyler Denny, who has a habit of when he is presented with an unbeaten rising British middleweight, he takes their unbeaten record. That's what we have heading into this fight. He's also the European champion, and Tyler Denny, I'm going to start with you. In your most recent fights, you talked about how you want to go to Saudi. You want to go and get some of that Saudi magic. Well, Saudi has come to you. Riyadh season has come to the UK. How does it feel to be part of such an incredible show?
Listen, I'm privileged, man, and I've talked it into existence. I'm here. But firstly, I want to thank His Excellency, Spencer Brown, Boxer, BCBL Johnson, and my whole team. It's been a great experience all week. I've enjoyed every second of it, and I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I plan to enjoy that even more.
What do you make of your opponent here? He's he's unbeaten. He's got very heavy hands. He's a Riyadh season ambassador as well, by the way. So very much a fancied kind of golden boy, if you will. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. Listen, I'm not going to badmouth him. He's a great fighter. But so am I. You know what I mean? And I'm here to show why I believe I'm a better fighter. And I'm just glad I got the opportunity to do so. Like I say, I rate him. I think he's a world-level fighter. But, you know, I believe in myself, man. My confidence is sky high, and I'm willing to fight anyone. When I got the call about this fight, I couldn't say yes quick enough. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing disrespectful to Hamza, just the whole occasion and everything. For a great name like Hamza to have that on my resume, that's what I'm all about, man.
Well, Hamza Shirez was asked, give us 3 reasons why you beat Tyler Denny. And the 3 reasons were, I am bigger, I am stronger, I hit harder. He makes a pretty compelling case, Tyler. What do you say to that?
Well, I seen an interview off AJ the other day on about he was bigger, stronger, and everything over Usyk, but he didn't beat Usyk. There's a lot more to boxing than being the taller guy, bigger guy. You know what I mean? Listen, I understand why I'm the underdog, but I've been the underdog my whole career, and I keep winning. So that's my case. I believe in myself. My tenacity that I'm going to bring the heat and the confidence, and there's no way I'm losing the fight.
Well, let's bring in Hamza Shirez. Hamza, you are a Riyadh season ambassador as well. Firstly, just how great is it to have Riyadh season here in the UK? You must be very proud as an ambassador.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank the Almighty Allah for allowing us to be here today. I'd like to thank His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for, not just giving me, but giving all us fighters up here the opportunity to give back. I'd like to thank the main man Spencer down there for helping me out a lot. And yeah, I'm honoured, Dev, honoured to say the least. It's like I keep saying, it's our opportunity to give back, especially being a Riyadh season ambassador. There's expectations there, and people say, is it pressure? I wouldn't say it's pressure. I like having these expectations of me, because I turn up, I show up, and I get the knockout.
Well, you're in against a man who is an underdog who keeps on winning. What do you make of your opponent, Tyler Denny, on Saturday night?
Listen, he does what he's got to do. You know what I mean? He does what he's got to do. He turns up. He's been beaten whoever's in front of him, the underdogs and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you've got to remember, I'm nothing like the last 5 fighters he's upset. Listen, I go out to LA, I do my thing over there. And if you speak to anyone, speak to Ricky, speak to my coach, speak to my team, you understand that I am a very, very, very disciplined man, and I understand the mission of what I've set out to do and how I want to achieve it and what I've got to do. And the buck stops with Tyler Denny, and I've got to get him out of the way.
Well, Tyler, let me just bring you back in here. You were asked a little while ago, do you feel like Hamza Shirez has made a mistake taking on a fight with Tyler Denny, considering he's on the cusp of challenging for a world title? You said, yes, I feel he has made a mistake. We put that to Hamza, and he said, well, that might change in fight week. The energy may change from Tyler. So what is the energy? Has this man made a mistake?
Listen, man, if you think I'm going to turn up and start shitting myself, you've got another thing coming. I don't get the question. I don't get why you can get triggered by that. You asking me if I made a mistake. I'm never going to say, no, he made the right decision, he's going to splatter me. You know what I mean? I believe in myself. Of course I'm going to say he's made a mistake. That's just it is. He could have waited around and got his opportunities. Fair play to him, man. He wants a good fight. I'm the European champion. I'm going to bring him a good fight. And that's all it is, really. It's a bit of stirring and whatever, but, I believe in myself. Of course, I think he's made a mistake.
Hamza, we talked about, you said, well, let's see what his energy is in fight week. That's a pretty clear indication of what he intends to do.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad. Like I said, I keep banging on about giving back. That's all I want to do when you got the opportunity of this magnitude.
Well, Tyler Denny was also asked 3 reasons why I beat Hamza Shirez. He said, I want it too much, my confidence is sky high, and I'm a sore loser. How do you deal with that?
I win. It's as simple as that. Don't really make much of it. He done what he had to do. He answered the questions, and that was that.
You're on a streak of 14 consecutive knockouts. When you look across there, you see Tyler Denny. Is that number 15?
Yeah, definitely, inshallah. That's the plan. Do you know what I mean? I've worked too hard, Dev. I've worked too hard.
Tyler, any response?
No chance. No chance, man. No chance. I'm winning the fight, obviously. He believes he wins the fight. But I think it's two people who genuinely believe they're winning the fight. You know what I mean? So you're going to get a good fight. And that's the good thing with Riyadh season is the best fighting the best, man. You know what I mean? So bring it on.
Bring it on, indeed. Thank you, Hamza Shirez. Thank you, Tyler Denny. Brilliant fight at middleweight on Saturday. Well, that concludes the undercard part of the press conference. They're going to do face-offs now down the front, and we'll be back very shortly for the main event. Thank you.
So our undercard press conference is done. We'll have some stare downs here momentarily. They'll clear the stage and then bring out the headliners, AJ and Daniel Dubois. All right, who got your attention up there, Barry?
Willie Hutchinson, always Willie Hutchinson.
The Hutch train. Woo, woo.
That was an easy question to answer, wasn't it? Listen, he's all about selling himself. You know, he's full of beans and he's full of confidence, and rightly so, because that performance against Craig Richards was fantastic. But let's be honest, he's been like that since he turned professional, hasn't he?
Yeah. Aaron, he said he's full of beans. I've never heard that in my life. What does full of beans mean?
I just sort of cobble things together. I'm trying to get the lingo down, taking the piss, all that stuff. I'm figuring it out.
You can't say that.
Are you not allowed to say that? Well, I apologize for the language, as my friend Adeola Depot likes to say. Can I tell you who I really enjoyed? Ishmael Davis. 7 days ago, this guy wasn't a part of this card, and now here he is on the dais, heading into Wembley. That's a pretty remarkable story. He feels like Josh Kelly's looking past them. I love those kind of underdog, out of nowhere type of characters. Let's see if he pulls it off.
And do you know what I love about Ishmael Davis there? He's not making any excuses. He's like, I'm the real deal. I'm destined for big things. You know, I might have had 3 weeks' notice, but don't worry about that. I'm going in there and I'm going to beat you. So, yeah, it's an intriguing fight. But, yeah, I'm with Barry, Willie Hutchinson.
But he's had a handful. I should go back to Ishmael Davis. He's had a handful of fights, but he's been saying, give me the next fight, give me the next fight. And that was clearly when he took Troy Williamson on, because that was a step too far, too soon, I thought. And he went, give him to me. And he destroyed him. He really did. And now this is a bigger step up again. 6 days notice. He was training for the fight, maybe, what was it, 2 months down the line? So the weight wasn't massive. He was starting to taper down early. But he's the prime example of...
Is he going to pull a Manny Pacquiao? Remember, he came out of nowhere, a late replacement.
Oh, mate, this sport is littered with underdogs, late replacements coming in and ripping up the script. We've seen that time and time again. Andy Ruiz, there you go. That's a prime example. But he's a prime example, Davis, and a real lesson to everyone about being a professional. You haven't always got to be on weight, but training camps, get rid of them. Stay fit.
Yeah.
Stay fit and you box more often. And then when you box more often, you're a better fighter. Joseph Parker has shown us that. Others, Anthony Joshua has shown us that. So you stay busy, stay fit, stay ready. You never know when the door might knock.
Can I just say also, that sight that we just saw over there of Eddie and Frank, that still hasn't gotten old for me. Like, we just kind of show that as B-roll. Like, this is still very bizarre to me. And they continue to get, like, friendlier and friendlier. I'd like a little tension, you know, like not manufactured tension. I kind of miss the tension a little bit, but this is still like...
How good is it, though, for boxing, Ariel?
Oh, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, who could have imagined 18 months ago these two? And like them on the stage together would have been massive news. Just even talking to each other. They used to say for the longest time that they'd never actually met each other. And now we just show it as B-roll. And look at the way they're lit, by the way. They look like, in this setting, they look like two superheroes out there. I'm sure that's not a coincidence, by the way.
Someone asked Frank Warren for his Mount Rushmore of promoters, and he said Eddie Hearn was on his Mount Rushmore. They asked Eddie Hearn the same question. He said it would just be for Eddie Hearn on Mount Rushmore.
I can believe that.
But, you know, the one fighter that got my attention, not so much for what he said, but just kind of the way he carries himself, Hamza Shirez. He already looks like a world champion. He just carries himself like he's the future of boxing. But here we go with our first stare down, guys. Give us the update. Who do you think wins this? How does it happen? Obviously, we got the golden boy on the left, Turki Al-Sheik's main man.
Yeah, and you can understand why he is so entertaining, punches so hard with both. But this is a great opportunity for Padley to turn his life around. He'll go in there a massive underdog. This man here is just a wrecking ball, Barry.
Yeah, Josh Padley's a good fighter, but a couple of levels below. And So he might have the goods to step up, but Mark Chamberlain is in form. He's a fighter who knows his judgment of the distance is fantastic. He can always throw a powerful shot, whether you're from range or up close. He finds that space and distance that only quality fighters can. You know, and I think he's a real star.
And he's certainly gotten more confidence since the first time we saw him fight on a Riyadh card. He was almost like spellbound, like, why am I here? What am I doing? I don't know. And now he's up there talking smack during the first stare down of the night.
He also said that he had never heard of Padley before when he was offered this fight, so kind of belittling him a little bit. We like to joke in MMA that motivated BJ Penn is like a superpower. I feel like Riyadh season Mark Chamberlain has reached superpower status.
Super Mark Chamberlain.
Yes, that's true. He has leveled up, and perhaps the confidence that Turkey has given him has made him rise to the occasion.
But that could work for Padley as well.
Sure.
Given the opportunity.
Now he can knock off the Golden Boy.
There he is, one of the most confident men in the building, facing one of the other confident men in the building. I mean, this is a brilliant fight, even though it's not the fight we was expecting. Ishmael Davis, what a replacement. He really is. Some people forget, Todd, you know, started his career at middleweight. So, you know, he's used to fighting bigger guys. He's not concerned about that at all. And like we've said time and time again, truly believes in himself.
Yeah, and with Josh Kelly, you know, now he's at a bigger weight. He's boxing at super welter, but this fight's of course at middleweight. But he's, I think, going from 147 up to 154, now 160. He's a better fighter for it, more stronger fighter with more energy. And he's learned now, because he's a bit older, a bit more mature, he's learned how to manage fight management, where he doesn't rush his work all the time, trying to show off all the time. He plants his feet with a bit of purchase in his punches. But also, he needs to prove the point. The Olympics were a long time ago. The Rio Olympics were such a long time ago. He should have been past his point by now. He has a point to prove.
You always make a good point about the cycle, the 4-year cycle. If you've been an Olympian and you've not been a world champion, or at least fought for one in 4 years, there's something wrong.
I think so. There's something wrong with you, or bad luck, or you weren't good enough. I think, yeah, the 4-year cycle for especially an Olympic medalist, should be the benchmark that you have to fight for.
Ariel, these guys don't seem to be giving Josh Warrington much of a chance. Can the Leeds boy pull off the upset at Wembley?
Well, you know what they say, dress good, feel good, perhaps fight good. He's the best dressed guy up there today, so there's a +1 for Josh Warrington.
I believe it was Roy Jones. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you fight good.
Yeah, I sort of butchered it, but you get the point. I mean, look at that. I give him a chance. Not that long ago, no one gave Anthony Kachi a chance against Joe Cordina. So the fight game, anything can happen.
He's just missing a Tommy gun there.
Peaky Blinders versus Pikey Blinders.
Right.
And also with Josh Warrington, this might bring back the memories of winning his first world title against Lee Selby, where even though it was in Ellen Road, he was at home, no one gave him a chance.
Right.
I mean, because he didn't have a chance. He was up against a superior boxer who was bigger than him, and he boxed so well, and he won that fight, undoubtedly won that fight by outboxing the boxer. And then against the great Carl Frampton, of course, no one gave him a chance there, because he was up against a guy who hit too hard, and he out-punched the puncher. So he's continuously proved us wrong.
Right. Where's security? Where's the security?
No way.
People's main event? They're both hungry, right? So let's get some food in us, and then we can really have a stare down tomorrow.
That is as close as it gets as far as face-offs are concerned.
Something about Joshua Buatsi, we said that yesterday when he came up on the stage. He's bigger than what he looks.
He's a giant.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but it's fizzled out a little bit. Like 2 years ago, Chris Mannix was like, Joshua Buatsi, this is the guy, keep an eye on him, he's so exciting. And since then, I feel like he just hasn't done anything.
Again, that Olympic cycle has taken too long for him. I think, and it's that injection he needs like a rocket up his backside sometimes. Show us, you're brilliant, show us continuously, but he's too calm in his demeanor. But I think this guy here, Willie Hutchinson, might be the perfect antidote for that. I think he will rile him up like he has. I think that's all he needs to show how good he really is.
Did you see Willie's eyes there? I mean, he is locked in. I love it.
Ariel, I spoke to him on Monday, and I said, what's your final prediction for the fight? And he looked me stone dead in the eyes and said, Hutchinson KO. And I paused, and I said, serious? And he went, I will knock this man out. Not stop, I will knock this man out.
Well, imagine that. Chief support at Wembley Stadium, or maybe one below the chief support. I'm still trying to figure out that terminology as well. But 2 fights ago, this man's at York Hall. That's unbelievable. What is that, 10 times? I don't even know. 12 times. I'm bad at math. Lovely to see Ben Shalom involved as well. Look at that. The three kings of British boxing, all the promoters up there. Who would have thought we'd seen that 6 months ago?
I think York Hall holds 2,000 people. Wembley holds 100,000,
Yes.
So that would be, what, 50 times
Okay,
bigger?
see, my math is horrendous.
There you go.
You get the point, right?
I do.
Small to big.
But I don't think the Hutch train is going to slow down in Wembley. I think it's going to light fire under him again. He's going to be even more amped up.
Yeah, I think he has such great self-belief that he won't care where he is. At the end of the day, if you can compartmentalise, the ring is just a ring, wherever you are. It's easy to say that. Carl Froch said when he boxed in Wembley, I don't know if you know that, Carl Froch boxed
90,000, yeah.
Yep, 80,000. Don't add it on for Carl. He will take that. He will take that. He'll take the 90,000. But he said the cold air. And that was a shock when he stepped off that cold air, when he took his breath away. And that was interesting, because that changed, maybe changes your mindset a little bit. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it's interesting to know that there's a change in temperature, and a change, maybe that might change your demeanor.
So Hamza Shirez, this is the chief support aerial. Do you expect him to have any problems in this fight, Darren?
The size of him. I mean, how does this man make middleweight? It is beyond me, but he's a superstar in and out of the ring, a great guy and a great boxer, a superstar in the making, no doubt. But Tyler Denny, he believes in himself here. He's the champion. He wants to rip up the script and prove everyone wrong, Todd.
Hey, in his last fight, there were some hairy moments in there against Ammo Williams. Hamza Shirez came on the other side, ended up dominating towards the end.
Yeah, I spoke to him again on Monday. I spoke to a few of the guys at the media day, and I said to him, how do you feel about that being hurt? Do you see it as passing a test, you know, the chin test? And he said yes. He goes, if anything, I take more confidence away that I was shook for the first time, and I feel fine.
So that's our final stare down from the undercard. We'll clear the stage and bring the big boys out. But right now, let's take a look at why DAZN is the home of boxing.
Hey, listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 150 fights on the zone every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts. Where are you? With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. DAZN, Undisputed.
Well, we welcome you back to the magnificent Guildhall in the center of London for the live press conference ahead of the Riyadh season card, Wembley edition. The main event of the presser coming up. But before we hear from Dubois and Joshua, our own Ade Oladipo sat down with a former two-time world heavyweight champion to look ahead to another mega fight.
Here we go again, another one.
Yeah.
Back home, Wembley Stadium. Scene, I think, of your best victory, your best night. Doesn't make a difference.
Huge uppercut. What a test of his character.
If I'm being completely honest, it doesn't. My life doesn't take a drastic turn, whether it's at Wembley, America, Saudi. So I keep my head on my shoulders and just focus.
Can I ask you about what you're thinking when you're making that walk?
Brilliant. I've done it already.
96 that you've done it.
I put my mind in.
You've already thought about it.
I'm a gladiator. I'm walking to the ring to conquer. I'm sitting ringside. Who do I want to see in that ring? I want to see a killer. I want to see a beast in that ring. So why? It's my time to do it. Let me be that person.
How is it with knowing that it is Daniel Dubois, a new name that's kind of been brought to the fold? He's done really well in the last couple of years. Preparing for someone new like that.
Brilliant. Because it's another project. It's not just training for the sake of it. I'm not training to get fit. I'm training to beat Daniel Dubois.
I want to quickly ask you about Daniel Dubois. Obviously, someone that you've known for a while.
Yeah.
Right. You've known his team. You've known Don for a while as well. What kind of competition do you think he will bring to you this Saturday?
The best, the aggressive, hungry, swinging jabs, right hands, hooks, head and body. You know, it's going to be really, really the best Daniel Dubois.
What can fans expect Saturday, AJ?
War man, a good Daniel Dubois, a good Anthony Joshua. And I think even though we're going to compete, I think he respects me enough to prepare properly. So does Don. And me, Ben, Lee, Barry, we all respect their team enough to prepare properly. So that creates for a great fight, you know. Oh, he wants to slay the king, apparently. So yeah, it's going to make me an old man. I'm very fit. I'm very ready.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Thank you, brother.
AJ, top man as usual, bro. Thank you.
All right, I've been told we are 6 minutes away from Anthony Joshua entering the building for the final press conference before Saturday's showdown between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua. Barry, Darren, and Ariel Helwani, who's been dipping his toe in boxing over the last few months, but now you're all in. And today you start a new show with Adeola Depot.
Again,
congratulations.
Another subtle shot. Dipping my toe. When am I going to be welcomed as one of your own?
This is the moment. I said you've been dipping your toe. Now you're jumping in.
There, mate.
Oh my God! What do I have to do?
We got you, Aaron.
I appreciate it, Barry. That's all I need. Yes, the Ariel and Ade show.
There it is. Look there.
And there he
screen.
is.
You're wearing a bow tie.
The best dressed man in combat sports. Not Frank Warren. I'm talking about Ade. Not me. You know, Ade fought to actually have his name first. You know, we like to call him Diva Oladipo. But the powers that be at DAZN said, no, we know who the A side is. And I said, guys, thank you. I appreciate you not making this awkward. Yes, immediately after the press conference, we are live. Ariel and Ade will be talking free-flowing conversation about the state of boxing, about everything going on. Of course, we're talking about Joshua Dubois as well. And I may, don't tell him, I may give him some stick about my beloved Nottingham Forest beating his beloved Liverpool on Saturday.
That is
Isn't
so
that perfect?
random. It's so
Isn't that
random.
perfect? You Reds, yeah, big 1-0 win at Anfield. There he is. Can you hear me? Hello, Adam. Oh, you can hear me. What a goal. Super Callum Hudson-Odoi. Oh, you'll hear all about it, Ade. You'll hear all about it.
He's got a hat on, a white beater T-shirt.
I didn't know he was actually listening. I'm
Look
sorry,
at him
Ade. I love you.
Dressed to the nines. It's like, I'm going to be next to Frank Warren.
He
I'm going to be
is
next to
not
Frank
happy,
Warren.
man.
You're supposed to put the volume down. No one told me. Doesn't he look great? He's going to do a great job at the presser there.
I love that he can't respond back when he sees facial expressions. You can see he's chomping at the bit. There he is. All right,
there he is. He's
calm
fuming.
down, Ade. You got to be professional here for the next few minutes. But I'm sure the big topic of conversation, obviously the main event. What was your take when you heard, hey, it's going to be AJ, it's going to be Dubois in Wembley? Just kind of give us your assessment of the situation.
Okay, so I loved everything about it except for one thing. First, can I take a step back? We knew it was Dubois, Hrgovic on June 1st. And the plan was Hrgovic wins, we're probably getting Hrgovic AJ. That doesn't have the same type of appeal. I don't know if they sell 96,000 if it's AJ Hrgovic, maybe 80,000 or something like that, but 96, Britain versus Britain, it's great. The one thing I don't like, and I'd love to ask the old timers, if you will.
Wow.
I don't love the fact that the IBF title is on the line. I think we made a whole big fuss about Usyk Fury being for Undisputed. 2 weeks later, Usyk says, yeah, guys, here's your little present, take the IBF title. I don't love that. That's everything that is wrong about boxing, and I get it, mandatory is this, mandatory is that. No, on December 21st, I want to see the Undisputed belts on the line once again, and this kind of ruins it. This would have been fine without the title, in my opinion. You don't need a title for this type of clash. It's a #1 contender fight, if you ask me, and I think it kind of ruins things on December 21st, the fact that now this is for the actual IBF title, not the interim title.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, but I would even say even more so on December 21st. That does not need one title.
But doesn't it have to be for the same stakes?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's that good of a fight. Everyone knows that is the real undisputed heavyweight fight. You know, they've hopefully, you know, thankfully it's only one that's been fragmented, but look, if everything works out and we do get AJ Fury,
but isn't
and it's
this
for all
part
the
of the
marbles,
stuff that we need to clean up?
Yeah, I get it.
The IBF has become the fly in the ointment. They did the same thing to Josh Warrington, right? He was going to fight for the title. Now they go, no, it's not a title fight. Only Kachi can lose his title. And AJ did. I mean, what are these guys doing?
That one's a little bit different because you can make a case that it doesn't.
You can't blame just the IBF because the WBA could very easily have a regular champion in 10 seconds time. So you know they add titles on all the time. I agree with you. It doesn't. No, it's a shame because they did so well to get that undisputed fight. For it to only last for a couple of months.
Yeah, a couple of months, couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, literally.
Yes.
But I think you've got to just sort of like ignore it and just take the fight like you said on its merits. And it's a good fight, and it's for the winner of the should be the undisputed fight.
I get it. It's just these little old timer things that I feel like boxing should evolve from. I'm not trying to be that guy.
Hey, what about the UFC heavyweight division? John Jones comes back.
I get it. But it would be nice
if
the same stakes were at play on December 21st. I will say this, you know, a lot has been made of the new AJ. This is by far the best opponent that he has faced. With all due respect to Jermaine Franklin or Robert Helenius, with all due respect to Otto Wallin, and even Francis Ngannou. So I am really curious to see how the new AJ does against someone like Daniel Dubois.
I like what I was hearing from AJ there when he sat down with Ade. He's expecting the best Daniel Dubois. but he wants the best Daniel Dubois. He doesn't, look, I'll be honest, when I was fighting whoever, I was hoping that they'd have a bad night.
Right.
You know, I'll be honest.
Luckily they all did.
They all did, all 28 of them. But he doesn't. He wants the best. He wants the best Daniel Dubois, and I love that because it shows you how hungry he still is. This is, yeah, for the IBF heavyweight title, but there's bragging rights here.
I'm being told that Dubois is ready to walk out, but AJ is making him wait another 2 or 3 minutes.
This is like fight night, right?
It's sort of like last night. He made you guys wait a long time. AJ, we talk about how great of a guy he is, but he's becoming a little more diva-ish, at least this week.
How dare you? How dare you?
He's just showing his dominance. I am.
Is that what it is?
This is me. This is my event. I'm the A side of everything. This is a Joshua week. It's a Joshua event, and they have been in the past. So you'll as nice and as cordial as he's been, as inviting as he's been, it's on my time.
Well, look, come on. Look, his £100,000 Mercedes may have broken down.
You're right.
Look, we don't know that. We don't know.
You're right.
We saw Daniel Dubois roll up. He looks fantastic. He's got a nice, a nice suit on. He's looking calm, cool, and collected. I wanted to ask you guys, when you saw that face-off situation where they both got up and got heated, who did you learn more about in that moment? Because in this new sort of chapter, AJ has been very kind of chill, and I felt like he got very fired up, but then Dubois said, "You're not going to disrespect me," and so I thought both of them showed a different side of themselves. Did you guys take anything away from that?
Yeah, I think so, because you want to see an angry guy. See, the thing with Anthony Joshua is people complain when he first turned professional, he was too media trained, he wouldn't show us the real him. And then after this little bit of a meltdown, he was too, he was too street for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want from the guy? Be yourself, there'll be someone else. So now he's sort of getting the blend quite right, where he acts the way you want him to, but once he's upset, he'll just go for it. He'll just, he lets him be what he wants to be. I think he knows himself more now because of what's happened to him. Faults, warts and all, we say, with the faults and the successes he's had, the trials and tribulations, he knows who he is now, in and outside of the ring. And he's comfortable in his own skin, maybe for the first time in his career. And I think that's why I think this fight is about the brain, not the brawn, because they both had their crisis of confidence, and they've both been mental for both of them, I think, and they've come back stronger for it. It's now, can either one of them remind the other one of the bad times? And I think that's why I think it's important to start fast, not reckless but fast. If Dubois can whack Joshua with a thudding jab, step behind it like he does, and whap, and that just brings back all that time when he got caught with Ruiz, all the times when he was panicking, he didn't know what to do against Usyk. Or if Joshua can get the rhythm and punch, make him miss when he falls off the front foot, and whap him with a combination, does Dubois start to panic again, his breathing comes irregular, and he gasses out. So it's about how you approach the fight. The positivity they have is trying to drag the other one back into the dark times. I made that up, but I think it's...
No, I agree with everything. By the way, I was just a wee lad when Lewis fought Bruno. Would you say that was the biggest British heavyweight fight ever, and this is much bigger than that? Like, is this now #1 as far as British heavyweight clashes?
It's hard to compare, really. That was huge. I remember my grandfather, my dad, and my uncle going to that.
Why didn't they invite you?
Too small.
You were a wee lad too.
I'm a young lad.
I'm so old. I was a professional for 1 year.
Oh, wow.
By the way, I'm being told Daniel Dubois just sitting in the back in a chair by himself, twiddling his thumbs, waiting for this to get started.
That's fine.
Who knows what AJ's
doing? That's gamesmanship. In any event, I'd love to hear more about that. Do you think this is bigger? I mean, you were around?
Yeah, it was huge. I think it's hard because I was around that time, so it seemed the biggest fight I've ever known. It really was. And it was in Cardiff, my city. It was fantastic. Rained. It was in Wales. Of course it rained. But it was a huge fight because Frank Bruno was the darling of British boxing. And Lennox Lewis, even though British, we didn't really grab our hands around him. We didn't really invite him as much as we did until after that. And it was really a one-sided fight on paper. Lewis was so much better than him. But it was such a competitive fight.
It was.
Bruno really dragged him into his fight. And this fight on paper is more competitive. Actually, this fight on paper is probably, arguably, the most competitive fight for a world heavyweight title.
What's the percentage? What's the percentage Joshua wins?
Oh, I think Joshua is
70.
Yeah, I would say maybe 60 because Dubois on form. I think with Joshua, see who he's boxed, as you've already alluded, or you already said, Ariel, the opponents haven't been anywhere near the level of this. And Dubois has boxed Miller, who's a decent opponent, and Hrgovic, who's a world-class fighter. So he's in better form. So
I'm getting play-by-play from
This
our
is
producer,
great.
Gary.
These updates
he
are
says
great.
AJ's car has just pulled in, and he said that Daniel Dubois has been here for 3 hours. 3 hours.
Well, he was a little bit early if he came 3 hours ago, because this was never supposed to start 3 hours
Well, you know,
ago.
back when you were a kid and you had
You're
a big
excited?
soccer game coming up, you show up like 2 hours early in the field. You know, you're juggling the ball, you're getting ready. I think that's what Dubois, he just wants to be in this environment, in this electricity. He may never get something like this again.
Yeah, I love that about him. I love it. He's keen, he's excited, he really wants the fight. I look forward to seeing the videos of him as he's approaching the stadium. I'm so intrigued to see how he handles the pressure then, but so far, so good.
But it shows the inexperience again. Him and his team probably not being in this sort of magnitude of a fight before, where they turn up way too early. All that sitting around, waiting around is not good for you.
No.
It's not good for you. Everything's got to be at your time. You've got to try and make it your show.
For whatever it's worth, when we were off camera and the undercard presser was going on, I had a chat with Derek Chisora, and we were talking about the Don Charles situation that we were sort of debating or hypothesizing earlier. He said he's not feeling well, but he will be there on Saturday. Right. So perhaps it's much ado about nothing, and we shouldn't pay. Todd, you shouldn't pay attention to Twitter, okay? That's the lesson here, all right? Don't run with unconfirmed reports.
We're at the beautiful Guildhall in the city of London, built in 1410. I don't know if you heard what I said at the very top of the show, which seems like, 6-7 hours ago. William Wallace, Braveheart's trial for treason was in this building back in the day. So while today's press conference won't quite be as historically as important as that, I wouldn't think, it's still pretty cool. This place is packed out. It was closed to the public. Right now it's all media, fighters, trainers, and everyone else. AJ is in the building. We're just waiting for him to make his way to the stage, and I see Michael Buffer up there as well. I mean, they bring out all the big guns for these Riyadh season cards.
I love it. It's an all-star crew. Can I ask you guys another question? I'm just a kid in the candy store here, picking away at your brains. Yes, the great Michael Buffer. Why does it seem like the British public is just a little too hard on Anthony Joshua at times?
Do you know what? I agree with you there, and I don't really know the answer, because when he's doing so well, they're all supporting him, and when it all sort of unraveled against Ruiz, he had the world against him.
Yeah,
you know,
why?
not just the
Why don't
country.
they back him?
I don't know, because what he's done forget boxing, what he's done for sport in the UK is massive. You know, he's the man you were putting the sports channels on, and you're seeing Anthony Joshua before footballers. You get the newspapers. The man at the back was Anthony Joshua before and after fights. And look, it does not worry me, but I don't understand it. But this man here, what an opportunity Daniel Dubois has to kind of rip up the script and, you know, rubbish that 30% or that 35% chance that we're giving him. Because look, he's a massive puncher. He's a man that's ticked box. He's a man that's grown in confidence. He's a man that's had his gut checked now. So look, he's standing tall as a world champion. I do believe, however, he needs to win this fight to really prove himself, if I'm honest. But nonetheless, that's not his fault. He was given the title. But I'm telling you now, the energy, the atmosphere just before that first bell is going to be electric.
I see a little similarity between Dubois and Edgar Berlanga last week. I mean, Berlanga's been in some somewhat bigger fights. He's headlined a lot on ESPN before, but that was a whole different level. We expected Berlanga, his only path to victory was really to come out and go right after Canelo. He didn't choose to do it. He lost convincingly. It was an entertaining fight, but a lot of people are saying Dubois has got to come out and go right after AJ. But what if he doesn't? Can he still win the fight?
Actually, Dubois can box. I think his boxing skills are underrated. I think he has got good movement, but I think Joshua's faster, which always gives him the advantage if it becomes a boxing match. Speed always supersedes a guy with a heavy jab. I think, you know, I think the secret for Joshua is to make Dubois miss with that first jab and he'll overstep and come over the front foot. So that's why he's got to close the gap quick. Once he closes the gap quick and that's hurting Joshua or making him feel the power, with a natural shot, I think even though Joshua's bigger and he might be heavy, I don't know what the weights will be, I think Dubois is naturally stronger. You see the frame, Joshua has been, he's got this frame over the years of being professional. You see when he turned amateur, he was big, giant, but slim. Now he's bulky. Dubois was like that when he was 19. That's natural weight, and that gives him an advantage of being more physical. So I think he has to be physical, but with intelligence.
I have an update.
Oh, yes.
I'm being told Anthony Joshua is refusing to get out of his car.
Serious?
He's just sitting in his car.
You're like Walter Cronkite here with these updates.
Gary's all over it. This is incredible.
Any particular reason why?
He won't get out of the car to ask him. He's just sitting in the car.
If you could come out and talk to us, that would be great. You know how you know Daniel Dubois has been here for a long time? When they showed him walking in, he was all nice and proper. Now his tie is all undone.
Rodney Dangerfield, no respect. He's getting no respect.
It's been 3 hours. You're going to loosen that tie. I hope he ties it up a little bit when he gets out there. But I'm curious as to what the reason is for the delay. Is it just gamesmanship? Is it just mind games?
I think it's
mess with the young man, right?
It's just like when a fighter comes out in the ring and they're even standing in the ring for ages. It's just to unsettle them. Get them annoyed. Just get their focus away from with their game plan or whatever mood they're in. And I think that's, and with Dubois,
but he's getting you annoyed, and he doesn't want to piss you off, does he? AJ, you're the one that has to stretch out here, Barry.
He's a little Rottweiler.
Look at you.
Give me a ladder. But I think I think it is just that. There's no reason for it. I think if Joshua wants to get home, but he knows if it annoys Dubois, he'll sit in his car for another hour if it has to. I think, and all those bits, as you know, Ariel, all those little things make a difference.
Sure. We saw this in the build-up to Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Yep. One time, Tank was getting a haircut while he was supposed to be at the press conference, and then the next day, Ryan said, "I'm not leaving my room." And so, for anyone who may be new to this whole fight game and you think this is all very silly, this is
he's exited the car. He has exited the car.
But we get a shot.
He is walking towards the building, I'm being told right now.
We need to get a live camera on him for that walk.
It's like the reverse of Elvis has left the building. It's like AJ has entered the building. This thing was supposed to start about 30 minutes ago. I mentioned Daniel Dubois got here 3 hours early just to be a part of the buzz. Well, now he's gone from happy buzz to angry buzz, I would think.
Yeah, there was someone else in that shot as well we should give a shout out to, Kieran Farrell, who was brought in to help Daniel Dubois in the team, and that former fighter knows the game inside out. And hold on, I think we're getting the signal as well.
We might have the exit of the from the car.
Hey!
Wait, and in slow mo. We can't play it at real speed. We got to suffer through the slow motion.
Slow-mo.
He looks old.
He's always got that one headphone in.
Still not sure what he's listening to, if anything.
He told Emily yesterday, our reporter, that he listens to Hans Zimmer.
I think he's just trying to mess with us.
You sure he's not listening to the Lion King soundtrack?
This is dramatic as heck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's a dramatic venue, and we've got Ade Oladipo front and center, and there is Anthony Joshua, a chance to become a watered-down 3-time world heavyweight champion if he claims this IBF belt, according to Ariel Helwani.
No.
But I think even Anthony Joshua has said, listen, this is just an appetizer. I want to be undisputed, and he probably gets that chance if he can beat Daniel Dubois. Without further ado, we now send it to the stage and Mr. Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, in approximately 52 hours, two of the very best, hardest-hitting heavyweights in the world today will step into the ring at the legendary Wembley Stadium, London, England, in front of 96,000 fans, a record crowd for boxing at that stadium. And it's Riyadh season card, Wembley edition, an event for boxing fans around the world. All brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GEA, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing. Sponsorship provided by Visit Saudi, Suleiman Al Habib Hospital, Saudi Airlines, Red Sea Global, Diriyah, and Middle Beast in partnership with Gold Star Promotions and Sella. Ladies and gentlemen, special thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Turki Al Sheikh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final press conference for Saturday night's main event. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let's meet the promoters and the fighters at this time. For Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn. And please welcome for Queensberry Promotions, Mr. Frank Warren.
Cheers, Frank.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the fighters. From London, England, 23 fights as a professional, 21 victories, 20 KOs. That's a 90% KO to victory ratio. He's the former WBA heavyweight world champion and the current reigning and defending IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois. And his opponent, also from London, England, an Olympic gold medal champion, 31 fights as a professional, 28 victories, 25 of those 28 victories by a KO, the two-time heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua.
Cheers, mate. Pass over, mate, yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn this press conference over to our host, Mr. Ade Oladipo.
Thank you very much, Michael. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very beautiful, historic, and iconic London Guildhall. Welcome to another huge, monumental event, and welcome to Riyadh Season Wembley edition. Look, I've been very fortunate to have attended all the Riyadh Season events, from our very first one, Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, to our most recent event in LA, Terence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. And all of the events have exceeded our expectations. And all the events have got bigger and bigger. Not just fight night, that's not what Riyadh Season is about, but fight week. More excitement, more events, more engagement, and most importantly, more eyeballs on the sport that we love, boxing. What Riyadh Season has done for fighters is, for some, look, it's given them maybe opportunities that they weren't going to get. For some, it's given them the spotlight that they craved. And for two fighters here in our main event, it was an opportunity to rebuild and remind people as to how good and dangerous they can be. Daniel Dubois entered Riyadh Season off the back of a defeat to Alexander Usyk. 2 fights and 2 wins later against Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgovic, he's now rebuilt. He's one of the best fighters in the world, and he's the current IBF heavyweight champion. Anthony Joshua entered Riyadh Season, and it was Otto Wallin, a stern test on paper, that he came through with flying colours. And then it was Francis Ngannou, a man who had previously caused Tyson Fury so much problems. Anthony destroyed him in a couple of rounds. So here we are, 2 fighters in arguably the form of their lives that will compete in front of 96,000 spectators at the National Stadium. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois for the IBF heavyweight title in front of the best fight fans in the world, the British fight fans. Now, look, normally, I'm going to break protocol a little bit here. Normally, you go to the promoters, and I will get to them, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, but I want to go to the fighters first. Daniel, I want to come to you. You are the champion, and I want you to clear something up for us, Daniel. The rumors are circling. Where is your trainer, Don Charles? Is there an issue? Is it a case of Don is just sick and not here? What's happened? We haven't seen Don all week.
Listen, as long as he's there in my corner on fight night, I'm all right.
But everything is okay?
Yeah, everything's good, you know.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let's move on from that and let's put that rumor to bed. All right, let's start with you, Daniel. Again, you are the current IBF heavyweight champion. You can see that the camera is here. This is a fight of extreme magnitude, right? They're saying this is the biggest British fight card we've ever seen. You headline it. How are you feeling? How's preparation gone?
Everything's gone well. Training camp's gone brilliant. I'm ready to fight. Let's go.
That you are, I know. You've wanted this fight against AJ for a while, not just after the Hrgovic fight, before that. You've called him the king. You said you're the king slayer. Why have you wanted this fight against Anthony Joshua so badly?
Well, it's a resurrection story of my career, and, you know, I'm just on a roll right now, so, you know, I just want the biggest challenges and make a name for myself and create history.
You've had some ups and downs like every fighter, every top fighter. the ups recently have been very, very good. Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic. When did it switch, Daniel? When did you realise that you are one of the best heavyweights in the world? When did it click that you can compete at the top table?
No, I've always known that. You know, I haven't got too much to say right now. I'm just ready to go on Saturdays. It's a great show, and I can't wait to go.
Yeah, but let's move on. I'm going to come back to you, Daniel, though you are going to answer a few more questions, hopefully. AJ, here we go again, right? You've been there, you've done it, you've seen it all. You've been in big events. You've been in big events since you turned pro. What's it like to be at another big event, Riyadh season, at Wembley, home of what I think was your biggest success against Vladimir Klitschko?
What a blessing. Thanks for everyone coming today, but it's a blessing to be back again, to be able to perform, prove to myself, prove to my team that I've listened to the instructions in training camp, and we're ready to rock and roll. And I'm in supreme condition, both physically and also mentally. So yeah, it's good to be back, and I've been watching some of the old fights as well, just adding some fuel to the fire, ready to rumble, reminding myself what I can do and what I'm capable of.
We all know exactly what you can do. Daniel Dubois is a name that maybe many thought wouldn't have been your opponent a few months ago. What type of challenge do you expect Daniel Dubois to bring to you on Saturday night?
We'll find out. We've already got a couple hours left, so to everyone that's going to be there, you'll enjoy it, but we'll find out. I can't say. I'm not Daniel. All I could do is focus on myself.
Indeed. Again, we will go back to the fighters, but I did want to speak to you first and foremost. Eddie, let's speak to your charge before we talk about Anthony Joshua. Let's talk about Riyadh season, Wembley edition. I spoke to yourself and Frank, and I was like, look, these Riyadh season events in Riyadh are fantastic. The one in LA was fantastic as well, but we need to get an event in London. We need to get an event to the National Stadium. We're only a couple of days away. What does it mean to have such a big event at Wembley?
Oh yeah, well, good evening everyone, and firstly thank you of course to the Crown Prince and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for the vision really. I think everybody felt that Riyadh season would be in Riyadh, and it's been just under a year now since we began boxing in Riyadh season, and the change that we've seen in the sport already has been quite phenomenal. But we didn't expect to see events in Los Angeles, to see events in London, and this one's very special. You know, it's the record, it's 96,000, where I think at a time when British boxing needs a shot in the arm, and it's a shot in the arm that's been provided time and time again by this man to my right. You know, I know he's not a fan of plaudits, but you have to give him to him, because we're all very proud of the way he's carried himself since the Olympic gold medal to changing the sport in this country. Every fighter in the country today has benefited off the rise, the performances, and most importantly, the behaviour of Anthony Joshua. He's been a role model. He's inspired boxing from the top to the bottom level of the grassroots of the game. And personally on Saturday, I can't wait. You know, I think His Excellency is going to look around and see one of the greatest nights British boxing has ever seen. Just a phenomenal undercard, and as this fight draws closer, people start to realise what a great fight this is. Two dangerous British heavyweights fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we look back to the nights at Klitschko and Povetkin. AJ's done it all before, but Saturday will be particularly special. Three-time World Heavyweight Champion, and a list that's so thin: Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis. And again, I know he's focusing on the performance, but legacy awaits on Saturday night for the most thrilling night. And thanks to all the promoters and broadcasters and Queensbury and team, Spencer Brown, Gold Star, of course the Matchroom team, 258. It's been a brilliant collaboration with Riyadh Season, who will break records on Saturday night and give us one of the great sporting moments. Proud of Anthony Joshua, a full believer in exactly where he's at. Never seen him so calm, never seen him so calculated, never seen him so confident. I believe with all my heart, three-time World Heavyweight Champion on Saturday, and do not miss it. It's going to be a very special night.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Frank, same question to yourself. Obviously, look, you've had Daniel Dubois since the beginning, very much like Eddie's had Anthony since the beginning. You've believed in your man, even with the ups and downs. What a moment for him on Saturday to headline, as we've been hearing, in front of 96,000 people.
It is. First of all, again, I'd like to thank His Excellency and the team who made this happen. This is an iconic moment for British boxing, there's no doubt about it. It's in an iconic building. The last few press conferences we've had, they've also been in iconic venues, but this is going to be something special. Two massive big punchers, two really good boxers, both of them on a roll, both of them winning fighters. They both had their ups and downs, not just Daniel, both of them had their ups and downs. And so we are definitely going to see something special. And for me, there's nothing better than two Brits in the ring, in a competitive fight, in a big fight, to get atmosphere, 96,000 people, sold out. It is going to be something special. And Daniel, I do believe, is going to show what he's all about. I believed in him from day one, and he's come through everything. Trials and tribulations, injuries, lots of different things happening behind the scenes, and he's now sitting here with his belt, and he's not letting it go. He's here to keep that belt, to confirm that he is the IBF champion against a very, very good fighter in AJ, who's been brilliant for British boxing, British sport, a man whose record's been impeccable as an amateur, you know, got robbed as a amateur world champion, won the gold medal, two-time world champion, but then we've got the new kid on the block. And this new kid on the block can fight, he can punch, he's as big a puncher, if not a bigger puncher, than AJ. He can jab, same as AJ, and he's got mobility, he's fast, and he's a good finisher. So one thing's for sure, do not blink in this fight. Do not blink, because from the first bell to the last, it's going to be something extra special. I believe this heavyweight fight could be the Britain's Hagler-Hearns. That's how exciting it's going to be.
Daniel, I want to come back to you. I know you said no more questions, but I will try and force a few more questions from you, Daniel. You are now a champion, right? I mean, it's the dream from a kid to where you are now. You've got a new IBF belt in front of you. How's the confidence levels gone up since you've become champion?
Yeah, the world title, I need to retain it and hold on to it. So, yeah, it's a great thing to have, but, I need to legitimize myself by winning this fight. So, I'm ready to go to war and ready for a fight.
Do you expect to knock out Anthony Joshua?
By any means necessary. Knockout, whatever way it comes.
Points, knockout, whatever way it comes, you're ready for it?
For sure.
AJ? Not been knocked out before?
Yeah.
A lot of people have said they can knock you out. Francis Ngannou mentioned it before when we did the face-off. Other fighters have said it as well. When you hear those words, is it almost just a case of, okay, you have to do what you need to do as well to get the victory?
Definitely. I showed Daniel and his whole team the respect they deserve during training camp, and that's going to put me in good stead on Saturday. So yeah, I'm tough. So is he. As Frank said, we've got all similarities. So may the best man win, really. And good luck to him. Good luck to his team. Thank you to my team for their efforts as well. Yeah, British boxing. One thing when I first started boxing, I said I want to bring the heavyweight division back alive in the UK, and I think we've done that. So well done to everyone here as well.
You guys are being very respectful now, which is nice to see. It is a gentleman's sport. I did the face-off with both of you about a month ago, and it wasn't very nice towards the end of that face-off. I had to move back, and everyone accused me of ducking away from it. I wasn't. But you accused them of being disrespectful then.
Yeah.
What happened for those that maybe didn't get that clip? Why was he disrespectful?
It wasn't disrespectful, it was just a phrase I used, but he said, let's go now. And I clicked for a minute. I said, what does he mean by that? And then he repeated it again. And I just feel like anyone in here, if I was...
Boxing, this is what happens. This is boxing. These things happen. So, we're fighting Saturday. Let's go.
So as I was saying, at the press conference, I just feel like you should never let anyone take an inch, because I'll end up taking a mile. You know what I mean, Dan? Sorry? That's it.
He said, never, was it take an inch? Never let anyone take an inch, because they'll take a mile.
Dan, I've spoken to you all week, and all week it's been smiles. I sense that the switch is now on, because you're a few days away from going to war with Anthony Joshua. Has that switch turned? Because look, we spoke yesterday and you're all smiling. We spoke the day before and it was all smiles as well. It's a very different Daniel Dubois now.
No, I've been preparing for this for months, weeks, and it's been spoken about from the start of my career. So as a pro, so here we are now. I'm ready for it. I feel good. I'm ready.
Okay, as I cleared up the Don Charles thing right at the beginning, I do want to clear up one more thing. and forgive me, both of you, for doing this, but I do need to clear it up because a lot of people want to know about it as well. This spar that happened several years ago. Now, you, Frank, said in a recent documentary that you heard about the spar and you signed him basically because of that spar as well. Can we clear that up now? Obviously, we know you guys are going to fight for the real thing on Saturday, but can we clear up this sparring story, these sparring rumours? AJ?
He cracked me with a great shot, and it's my chance to get him back on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go, Dan.
Well, we sparred hundreds of rounds, didn't it?
You cracked him, Daniel. So you know you can hurt him.
It's sparring. Now we're fighting. It's different, you know.
I think it's different.
Ready to go. Move on now. You can move on now.
Oh.
Move on.
Okay. No tables flying, anything. Let's just keep this one very, very peaceful. Daniel, how do you win? Tell me how it works.
I ain't predicting nothing. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to fight.
As expected. Anthony Joshua, how do you win on Saturday?
How do I win on Saturday? Can happen in a variety of ways, various ways, but I'm not dependent on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. But I've got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit. Eddie
mentioned that you can be one of those, you know, rare fighters that are a three-time heavyweight world champion. Does that matter to you at this stage of your career, or is it big fights?
Nah, I'll tell you, all the accolades and stuff come later, because I always say, it's crazy, you go back to your house on Sunday morning, have the same breakfast, put your clothes in the same laundry basket, nothing really changes, go to the same local gym. So for me, it's just, I just want to compete. I'm glad I've got some of the best challengers in front of me to compete with during my career. Brings the best out of me, so yeah, that's all it is really. I'm a competitive person, and I've got a competition that I need to attend to on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it.
Daniel, final one, don't get upset with me, I'm going to ask you one more. You're walking out in front of 96,000, you are a heavyweight world champion. A lot of people think you've got a good chance here. What's that feeling going to be like when you take that ring walk?
Like I've taken it many times before, just this time it's on the biggest stage, so you know, the energy's going to be higher.
And AJ, you've done that walk before. Again, I said, the Vladimir Klitschko fight I thought was your best performance, an iconic performance. You take that same walk again, what's that feeling going to be like for you?
The feeling?
The feeling.
Sorry?
The feeling, what's that feeling going to be like for you?
Be the same for all of us, you know. Honestly, all of us, many of greats have walked it before. All of the undercard are going to walk it, I'm going to walk it. I'm going to feel just like any of them. But when I step into that ring, that's when I switch on and I'm ready. So the ring walk I'm not really interested in. That's just getting to the location to do my job. But once I'm in the ring, I'll be 110%.
And final one to the promoters, Eddie and Frank, you've been there, both of you, you've done quite a lot in the sport. You've been at Wembley before and you've held big events. You've been at Wembley before and you've held big events. What's it going to mean to both of you to take that walk with your fighters to that ring for what is the biggest British fight card we've ever seen?
Well, listen, I'll be one of the lucky 96,000 with a great seat. But all that matters is this man to the right. The journey so far, this is his 4th fight at Wembley. Going back to the Matt Legg fight where, you know, even the Vladimir Klitschko fight, he was just a young man starting out with a huge heart and brute force. Now, I believe he's the best heavyweight in the world with every fundamental you need, and he's developed into a great fighter. Shout out Ben Davison, Barry, the team, done an amazing job. And this is what it's all about. This is what high-level sport is all about. You know, when he boxed Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley, people still say to me that was the greatest sporting event I've ever witnessed. I've been to Ryder Cups, Centre Court or Wimbledon. Nothing touched it. This is the beauty of big-time boxing you will see unfold at the National Stadium on Saturday night. It's going to be an amazing night, and history shall be made for this man.
And Frank, final one to you. You've had some incredible nights as a boxing promoter. This probably will be one of your biggest, if not your biggest, if Daniel Dubois can beat Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 at Wembley.
Without a doubt. You know, on Saturday night, I genuinely believe that Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are going to provide something that's going to be extra special, not just in boxing, in sport. And I believe that Daniel Dubois will cement his legacy in boxing.
We'll find out on Saturday. Is it going to be Ann Still or is it going to be Ann the New? Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, IBF heavyweight champion. Both fighters are going to pose for photos and do a face-off.
Two fighters come forward on the stage for a photo op.
So there it
Two-time
was.
world heavyweight
Daniel Dubois,
champion AJ Anthony Joshua.
not much to say, seemed a little agitated. He just wants to get in there and get going. That's the feeling I got.
Yeah, well, he's sort of been like that all week, but he's just thinking, here I am now, let's just get it on. I've done all the training, all the preparations ready. He just wants to clock the tick down now so we can get in the ring on Saturday night with the bigger man in Joshua.
Yeah, I like it. I like that there's not much talking there. It's all been done, it's all been said. We see the needle at the face-off. Now it's time to fight. The last time that they're able to kind of get in each other's head. But look, no doubt I agree with what they both said. This promises to be fireworks. They can win in a number of ways, but they both carry tremendous power. And I think for one of them, that will be decisive on the night.
Could it boil down to whose chin is tougher? You know, they're both going to have to take powerful right hands to get the other.
But let's not forget about the shorter game.
Because I don't have an IFB.
Joshua has one of the best left hooks in heavyweight boxing by far. And so does Daniel Dubois. He's coming through the power in his left hook. And let's not forget AJ's uppercut, Darren. That right uppercut. No, against Klitschko.
Stretch Klitschko's head about
unbelievable. So, you know, they're both adapting, not just the typical 1-2 left and right, straight right hands. They have the uppercuts and the left hooks as well.
All right, let's send it down to Ariel Helwani, who's going to get a word with both fighters.
Thank you for doing this. All right, thank you very much, guys. Here with the man himself, Anthony Joshua, my guy Femi. It's good to see you again. You too. And you know, Anthony, so much has been said about you and your evolution. I'm just wondering if we could go back to September 22nd, 2018. Almost exactly 4 years ago was the last time you fought at Wembley Stadium. What is the difference between this Anthony Joshua and the one who fought there 4 years ago?
Mature. 4 years is a long time. More mature, more training camps, thicker skin, where I've been fighting tougher opponents and so on. Had my bumps and bruises along the way. Coming back stronger. Yeah, standing tall now.
I love the fact that you started with mature. I have to say, watching you all week, it's been a joy. You seem so calm, cool, collected, but also grateful for the journey and so comfortable in your own skin. It really feels like you, in the midst of this chaos, are enjoying it all and in your own world. Is that a fair assessment of where you're at right now?
Yeah, life goes on, life continues. So I don't put too much pressure on the moment ahead of me. Living in the present, then when that moment comes on Saturday, I'll be present and then we'll be on to the next challenge. So I don't overcomplicate the situation anymore. I'm mature.
That all being said, 2 years ago in Saudi Arabia, when you had your moment post-Usyk, if we would have talked that night and said, in 2 years it'll all work out, you'll sell out 96,000 at Wembley, you'll be this close to Undisputed, would you have believed me in your heart?
I don't know about selling out Wembley, but I think that I could have had a good chance at becoming champion again. Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I could do that. If I really want to deep down in my heart, I could definitely do it. But Wembley, that's a big blessing. Shout out to everyone that's coming. What a time to be alive, what a time to be involved in the fight game.
Symbolically, there's something beautiful there because at times it has felt like the British public didn't always have your back. 96,000, you still don't feel that way?
Nah.
Come on, 96,000, that's all for you.
True, it's the minority, isn't it?
It's a vocal minority.
But at the same time, it comes with the territory.
Why do you feel like they don't have your back still?
No, it's not they don't have your back, but people underestimate me. I told you that last time. People will always continue to underestimate me. That's probably what I was going to say. It's part of the British public underestimate me. But that's fine. That's always going to be part of the game. And do you know what? It drives me a lot.
Final thing, you've been here before, this is old hat. It's somewhat new for him. When you look at him just now, when you look in his eyes, Do you feel like he is ready for this moment, for this stage?
Yeah. He's done it loads of times before. So like, whether it's being at Wembley, Poland, Tottenham, York Hall, wherever he's boxed before, he's done it loads of times, and he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll come to throw punches. So yeah, I'm not expecting someone to just crumble under pressure. I'm expecting someone that's gonna try and test my manhood, and I'm gonna be there ready. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be there ready.
What are you listening to?
Right now, nothing. I'm
nothing.
Expecting our conversation.
Listen, now, by the way, everyone's asking you this question now. They stole it from me. You know that. They stole that question from me.
Launching an AirPod brand.
If they're not paying you for this, something's wrong, my man.
Nah, they don't pay me for it. They don't pay me for it. But right now, I'm listening to nothing. Respecting the questions at the press conference, respecting your time. And when I get in the car, last documentary I was watching was Sonny Liston. Do you know what they say? All the footage they have of Sonny Liston is actually of him between 30 and 34, 35. You know that?
I did not know that.
So when you look at Sonny Liston fighting, he's not a young man. He's actually, and it's just amazing, like how dominating, how fresh he was, how intimidating he was, and how late that you can come into the game and achieve amazing things. 30-odd years old he was when we watched the footage of the great Charles Sonny Liston. So,
sounds like you.
Yeah, late starter, innit? Late starter, yeah. I got to go out there and prove myself now, you know what I mean?
Well, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck to you, AJ. Much appreciated. Much love. The great Anthony Joshua. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Ariel. Sonny Liston, known as, at least Teddy Atlas told me he thinks Sonny Liston was the most intimidating man to stare down with in the history of boxing. The stare down between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua, kind of mellow. We might see a little bit more tomorrow. We've been on air for 2.5 hours, all right? It's past Barry's bedtime. I'm being told each of you guys get one final thought, wrap it up, what happened here today. We'll start with the Welshman.
Yeah, I'm just super excited. I think it's getting to a crescendo now that, I mean, once the weigh-in happens, we're in fight mode, and that's all we want. This just accelerates it.
Give me the first bell of the first fight for Saturday, because I've no doubt I look forward to the undercard as well. A lot's been spoken about the main event. The undercard is brilliant. Every single fight on there means something. We're in for a real treat.
Hey, we still got 48 hours to go, so we're not going to hear that first bell for another 48 hours. That means tomorrow we're going to see you right back here on DAZN for the weigh-in and the final face-offs before they head to Wembley. A record crowd expected of about 96,000. For Ariel Helwani, Darren, Barry, I'm Todd. We'll see you back in good old London tomorrow.
Wembley Stadium, live on DAZN.
A national stadium.
2 huge punching Brits for the World Heavyweight title. Been manifesting the Undisputed Championship. He's going to win this fight, and then he's going to beat the winner of Fury Usyk.
Who knows where Anthony Joshua would have ended up if he didn't have boxing.
That moment when he stepped into Finchley ABC was a moment that changed his life forever.
I use boxing as a path to keep me on the straight and narrow.
Daniel's father, I mean, he had a plan. He wanted him to be heavyweight champion of the world.
That was going to be the route for us, to make it out, achieve something big.
The whole industry were labelling Daniel Dubois a quitter.
Daniel Dubois has climbed the tree again. He's rebuilt.
You know, coming out of the darkness, going into the light, and, you know, being the man of the future.
He's world champion.
This will be an amazing fight for as long as it lasts.
This fight is not going the distance.
It's going to be fireworks. Do not blink.
One of the biggest nights in British boxing history.
They can expect a good war, good battle, the battle of spirit, will and determination.
The objective will always remain the same, and that's to be victorious by devastating knockout.
It's going to be a night you'll never forget.